Did you hit it?
Yes, he did.
All right, man. Welcome back to the Man Down Sports, man. Thank y'all for joining us, man. We got a full panel tonight. Eric's not with us, but we do got 2 guests. Britne is here from the Sideline Speaks. You know what? My bad, Britne. I forgot to link your podcast and I forgot to link Therapeutic Rap in there as well. So if y'all watching this on the playback, Sideline Speaks, the link to her YouTube and her podcast will be in the description box. It's as well as Therapeutic Rap. It'll be in the description box as well. Y'all already know about Therapeutic Rap, but if you haven't already subscribed, head over there and subscribe right now. This show's gonna be good, man. Dominique's here, Brittany's here, and we got Zoj and myself and Chris. It's gonna be really good. Call-ins, live show, comment section gonna be live. I already know what it is. We got really good topics, man. But I don't know, man. Let me slow down before we play the ad, but because I'm sweating. It's hot, yeah.
I was waiting to see how long he was gonna go through the show without saying it.
Let me drink this water, man. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous, man. Hit the like button as you on your way in. Yeah, salute to you, Craig, too. Hit the like button. Hit the share button. Let's see how many people we can get in here on the live today.
See,
man.
Got Greg Anderson in here, one of our mods. Who else?
Hey, where the mods at, man? Where the mods? Get the moderators in.
I took some wrenches last week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Did you hear about what happened last week, so? Did you ain't here?
School me.
I'm talking about Caitlin Clark in here. You know, Chris was in there too, in there sleeping, and I'm talking about Caitlin Clark, and somebody got mad and just started spelling out the N-word in the comment section, one letter at a time. And when he got to the G, I was like, oh, I see what he's doing. So I just watched. I'm gonna see what he do.
Mm-hmm.
The dude who almost spelled it wrong. He had 2 E's in there, and then I just banned him. I'm looking at all the moderators in here, and ain't none of the moderators catch it. They just in there having a Kobe conversation, and nobody caught it, man.
So
I was on the game at the time while the podcast was on. I was multitasking. I was listening, and so I didn't catch it until the end. And then
where was your antennas?
Exactly, daggone shame, man.
Listen, he was cooking though, but I thought, what I'm saying, let him cook.
You know, everybody get fried up stepping on that stage sometime.
Man, sauteed. Somebody got sauteed real bad on Tuesday.
Yeah, they did. But anyway, this episode is about Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the best place to play fantasy sports. I want to tell you about the easiest way to get in on some NBA action with Underdog Fantasy and their pick'em game. Just find your favorite player, or any player for that matter, pick higher or lower on that player's stats, and you can win up to 20 times your money in one night. Pick between 2 or 5 players to fill your pick'em entry. Get every pick right, and you can net yourself some serious cash. Use the promo code ManDownSports, and you can get your deposit doubled up to $100. You got to check on the map to make sure your state is eligible to play Underdog Fantasy. But as soon as you do, and if your state is, go ahead and download Underdog Fantasy's app. Use the promo code ManDownSports, and you can, like I said, you can get that $100 match on your first deposit. And I would want to thank Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring Man Down Sports. All right, before we get started, everybody know.
Hey, hold on. Hey,
yeah.
If you go put that hoodie on that you had on in the ad and wear it the whole show, I cash app you $200.
You go cash app it now.
Right now, you got to finish. Gotta
go through
the show. I cash app it to you.
Nah,
that boy hot. That boy.
Mel is not. If you put that on, he ain't gonna make it to the end of the show. He gonna
have to make a call to 911 before the show over.
Yeah, it's hot,
I'm sorry. No more jokes from me.
All right.
But I was being rude. I didn't introduce Dominique. Everybody already know Britne. She's been on like 5 times already, right? So, but Dominique's new. You can introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Dominique. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate being here. Mel and Jay and Zoe, Chris, Britne. It's just really a pleasure to be with you guys today.
All right, let's get into the first topic. First topic, man. All right, so Geno, who gonna say that name for me? Yeah, y'all
Geno
know about
Auriemma.
Auriemma. Yeah, there we go.
Geno's good. I think Geno's okay.
Coach
Geno.
Yeah, that's how we gonna do it. Let me go ahead and introduce it. Right, Coach Geno was on the Dan Patrick Show, and he was asked about a couple of things. Caitlin Clark was one of them, and I was shocked to hear what he said. he basically said she wasn't ready, which I mean, he was giving a fair assessment, but I want y'all to tune in to what he said. And then when we come back, I want to hear from Britne and Dominique first on their thoughts on what he said.
I saw where you said the WNBA, they're targeting Caitlin Clark. What do you mean by how she's being guarded or, enforced?
I think you and I both know the landscape that we live in today, both sports-wise and non-sports-wise, right? We are in a red, blue. And if you're red, you can't agree with blue. And if you're blue, you can't agree with red. Whereas most things are in the middle. If you're a college player and you're a great college player, like Caitlin was, the delusional fan base that follows her disrespected the WNBA players by saying she's going to go in that league and tear it apart. There were actually odds on she's third or fourth in betting odds on being MVP at the WNBA. These people are so disrespectful and so unknowledgeable and so stupid that it gives women's basketball a bad name. Okay, so the kid was set up for failure right from the beginning. So if you're a WNBA player, and believe me, I've coached the best, and I've pissed them off a lot, and they let me know about it. But they were tremendously disrespected. And none of them are going to say it, but human nature is, okay, this kid's coming into the league. And Diana said it best. This kid's in for a rude awakening. And they all jumped over her, but they didn't read the whole thing that she said. But nobody's printing. Diana Taurasi was right. This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league. And she's a rookie. And if you're a WNBA player, if you're any kind of player, you're going to say, I'm going to make a statement. Targeted by society, targeted by her looks, targeted by her reputation, targeted by the disrespect that they've shown to the WNBA. There's a huge target on this kid's back. I thought Cameron Brink said something really smart. She said, no, they're expecting this rookie class to be perfect. This rookie class isn't even one of the best rookie classes in the last 10 years. But they've been put out to be that because the way social media is today. So what kind of impact is this rookie class having in the WNBA?
How do you think Clark is handling this?
I think she's handling great. I think she talks a lot of and she gets a lot of back. So she deserves everything she gets because she gives it as good as she gets it. She's just not built for the physicality of this league. Yeah, and she's not quick enough to get away from the physicality. So there's a lot of learning curve, like Diana said. And when she gets it, she has elite skills that are going to really help her. Yeah, but she needs to be on a better team, and she needs to be more experienced, and that will come. But for these ridiculous fans who had her slotted as the next Diana down, they're out of their mind. And for these people that are waiting outside the bus for the Chicago Sky team, what the hell's wrong? What do we become, a third world soccer country? That when a soccer player gives up their own goal in the World Cup, you're waiting for him in a bar to shoot him? Like, what the hell are we doing here?
Yeah.
All right, man. He said a lot, man. He said she's not quick enough. She's not physical enough. She's not experienced enough. She's not good enough. It was disrespectful to the WNBA for media and fans to say she was going to come tear the league up. I mean, Vegas had her in the top 4 odds to win MVP. Like, all this stuff was disrespectful. People calling her the Messiah. All of this was disrespectful. And he's pointing it out because most of the women that's vets in that league that are real good, Taurasi, Stewart, they played for Geno. I know they talked to her. I know they talked to Geno and probably let them know we feel disrespected. So he's speaking for someone.
Absolutely.
But I'll start with Dominique, man. What stuck out with you the most about what he said? And then what's your thoughts on it?
The target on her back. I mean, I think that people are saying that she's being targeted in a way where she's being bullied. And he's framing it more as, her fans, her delusional fans have put that target on her back. And I think that that's really important to, to bring to light, that the WNBA hasn't decided, hey, we're just going to pick on her and bully her. Every league sort of has like an initiation for rookies, right? And she's saying she's the best. The media is saying she's the best. She's talking big. After a press at a press conference, she claimed that she believed that all of her shots would go in. So, I think that the league is going to show her that, hey, you're not going to come into this league first year out and average 30. That's not going to happen. You're
Is
not
that
gonna,
jealousy though?
I don't think that that's jealousy. I think that that's competition. And I think that that's how all of the leagues operate. I think LeBron feels very close to Caitlin Clark. And if we take a look at his career and what happened in the beginning, I think that, people put him on notice as well. Like, hey, this is a different league. You're not just going to come in and immediately be dominant. But I think the huge difference between the two of them was that he did come in and sort of dominate. He was the best player on his team as a rookie. That's not the case for Caitlin Clark. She's not scoring the best. She's not handling the ball the best, on her team. And I think that has caused a bit of her struggle as well, because the team hasn't been able to adjust to her coming in and being given the responsibility of being the leader. So there's a variety of struggles that she's having, but I think that Geno kind of nailed, why she's a target. Yes, she is a target. I think that we can probably all agree to that, but it's why she's a target that I think is really important, the context behind that. And I think that he highlighted that and he did a very good job of that.
Britne, you think he was right when he said she wasn't ready? She's not ready for this league. She's not ready for the WNBA.
I mean, I don't know if she really had a choice, but to try to get ready, right? Like, you're out of school. What's the next level? But I think she has some development. I think there was a narrative that was created surrounding Caitlin Clark that made it seem like she would come in and just kill. Like, to me, this is Asia Wilson's league, and everybody knows it. When we watch Caitlin Clark, you could see from her game that she has a lot of developing to still, or she has a lot of growth to do within her game. She could shoot lights out, but what much else can she do? And she's a decent passer, but even then, the way the team defends her, sometimes it cuts off her passing lanes a lot, because this is an elite. This is the pros. This is an elite level of basketball. So. Was she ready? Technically, no. Does she have to get ready? Yes. Does she still have to get ready? Yes. I just think it was just an arrogant overconfidence of her fan base, because again, they don't watch the game. They're not familiar with this game whatsoever. And same thing with a lot of the people in the media. And from no disrespect, but it sounds like it came from a lot of men that created that whole jealousy and envious, and that's not the case. If you really understand the WNBA, they've been physical since its inception, since 96, I believe. They've always been physical. So right now, her game just doesn't adapt to what the WNBA is doing right now. So she's got work to do. Jealousy in women is more intense than men.
See, and that's the part that infuriates the women. Like, where is this? Why is everybody keep calling it jealousy? But look, this is my question though. The fans that are following her, the ones that don't like basketball, are they really fans? Like, they don't like basketball. Like, they can't say I like Caitlin Clark and then come to a Fever game and then see other great basketball players and be like, oh, I like them too. They can't do that. They're saying I only like Caitlin Clark. Those are not. I don't know what to call that. I don't know if that's a fan or not. Like, I don't know what to call that.
Term would be a fanatic.
It's a fan, but you don't abbreviate that word. You go ahead and say the whole thing like Chris did. It's a fanatic. It's a or what you used to call it a man fan.
A man fan.
Man fan.
It's the same fans that rooted for the Chiefs because of Taylor Swift. They don't have any idea about the sport. No disrespect to the Chiefs fan, but they have no idea about the sport. They just following a person because
she's a Swiftie. And she do like Taylor Swift too. She wanted that. You know what? That's a good connection.
I'm actually glad you said Chiefs fans. Because I was sitting here thinking, how was I going to talk about the Chiefs today? And you just opened the door. So I appreciate it, Britne. Appreciate that.
Oh my God.
I think about Patrick Mahomes.
Come on, stop, Jay. No, Jay, please. We can't. Not this early, Jay.
Watch where I'm going. Watch where I'm going.
I know you're not going nowhere.
Land the plane. You're not going nowhere.
Hey, will y'all let me? Can I cook for a minute?
Yes, sir.
Hey.
But I already know this trash. Go ahead.
All right. Now I think about Patrick Mahomes and how he was drafted into the perfect situation. He could sit behind Alex Smith for a year. He had weapons and everything right there. I think Caitlin Clark numbers would be phenomenal if she would have went to the Liberty or if she would have went to the Aces. I think the situation that she was drafted into has much to do with the aggressiveness that they call it, which is just the way the game is played as a reduction of production.
If she went to the Liberty, it's 2 players better than her on that squad.
Yeah, but then she could just be a shooter. She could be an elite shooter, and you don't have to worry about nothing. You couldn't play her hard because if you play off of I can't even say her name, but you play off of her. If you play off her, your ass is cake.
Yeah,
but she'd be coming off the bench though, Jay. Like just like when she was in college, if she played for South Carolina, she wasn't better than any of the people coming off the bench for South Carolina. All of them outperformed her.
Tough. Now that's a hot take right there.
She needs it. Let's say she did come off the bench right now. Let's say she came off the bench right now. That means she's playing against the other team's B squads. That's going to inflate her. That's going to inflate her numbers. Her 20 minutes would be really productive.
I hear you, Jay.
I think if she could just catch and shoot the ball, I think that she can't create her own shot.
She ain't a catch and shoot player though. She's not even a catch and shoot player.
Yeah,
she could be.
She could be because of her shooting ability.
I agree with that.
They're not bringing that girl off the bench. They're not doing it. It's too much of a money grab.
That's number 1 pick, bro.
They're not. But look at what we're seeing. We're seeing them. What are they? 2-10? 2-8. Like
they're playing right now too. They're playing the Mystics, and she balling right now. She got 5 points.
All I'm saying is her situation. She was and Geno said it too. She went to a bad team, and it was the wrong team for her to go to. Like what I'm saying is the situation. No one's talking about the situation she went into. Like they was the worst team in the league. You know, maybe 3 years running.
2 years in a row.
They got to be in Boston last year. They got another dominant player in college because she was dominant.
2 number 1s in a row.
And that's what we've seen.
And they headed to the third one.
So that same thing happened to the Aces. They got number 1 picks multiple years in a row, and then they became a championship team, I think, a couple seasons later. So, the same thing could happen to the Fever, but they've got to figure out, how they can't change the entire game for Caitlin Clark. And that's what would need to happen in order for her to become this uber star that they want her to be, because they play a certain way. And that hasn't yet for her.
They do, and they are calling for them to change the whole game and the rules for her.
More than just the rules would need to change, right? Because just like we see NBA players, they got on board with not playing defense, didn't they? They were happy to do that.
Yeah,
but why do we think that they were happy to do that? They're paid very well. They exactly, and it elongated their careers, right? The shelf life of an NBA player used to be 12, 15 seasons, maybe, right? Good career. Now they're playing. Looks like LeBron's gonna be going for 30 years. So,
Hey man, this dude says she top. Go ahead. Before you go, this dude says she top 2 and 3. She the only player that don't play 11 games. She should be number 1.
Be number 1. She's also playing 40 minutes. So her highest scoring game, she has to play 40 minutes. All of the other rookies are like 25 minutes a game. They're not playing the high minutes that she's playing in order to get these numbers. So they have.
Who else on the Fever you won't shooting the ball?
Mitchell, the best player on the team.
I was going to say she's not even the best player. Kelsey Mitchell is, right?
Yeah.
Facts.
So you
go ahead, Britne, and then Zoe go, because we ain't heard from Zoe.
No, I was just going to say, we're going to change the rules for somebody who's not even the best player on her own team. That's going to be interesting to me. If she was maybe at least the best player, okay, we've seen it in any other league, throughout history where they changed rules. We changed it, when Michael Jordan came in. They changed it. Tom Brady came in. They changed it again in the NBA when, players like LeBron and all of those guys came in. So why are we changing it for Caitlin Clark? She's not the best player on her team.
She bringing out money though.
When we've seen
absolutely is
dominate for the last couple of years in this league, in this very physical league. So I think it's a lot deeper than jealousy. It's a lot deeper than, targeting her. I think that there's a lot of closet issues that, that's happening with Caitlin Clark and
I
the
think
way
jealousy is. I think jealousy is a very, very strong word, and I think that's an extremely strong word. If you want to say frustration, that's fine, but to continuously say that these women are jealous of another woman, I'm pretty sure they are appreciative at the new fan bases that has come to this league, or the new fans that she brought with her to the league. But to say jealous, that's a very, very strong word. I don't like that word. I think that word, if you ask me, that's very disrespectful to these young ladies. They work their tails off to get where they're at. They deserve a lot more. But to say they're jealous, I don't think they're jealous. Maybe frustrated. Fine if we want to use that word. But jealous, stop that.
But Zoe, answer this question. Even if they are frustrated, or even if they do feel disrespected, it has nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. It has everything to do with the media that's around her. Go ahead, speak to that.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, they made this monster. Like, you can't say, okay, we're going to market this girl, we're going to do this to this girl, and act as if she's about to go dominate, just like she did in college at Iowa. No disrespect to Iowa, but she's not playing a lot of elite teams. She's able to ball because of some of her competition is less than what we would say in the SEC, which is fine. You can't help who you play, but at the end of the day, they marketed this person to be this. And now you got to play. That's the part that they forgot about. Now you have to actually go and play basketball against people who've been playing basketball not only at the WNBA level, but them girls be going overseas in the off season. Like, it's a true bona fide hoopers, and to set her up like that, it was almost, if she didn't exceed what LeBron did, then it was going to be looked at as a failure because of how they marketed her. And now they got to deal with that monster until she learns and adapts, which could be 2 or 3 years from now.
I'm gonna say the quiet part out loud.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it. People are upset because a lot of people wasn't watching the WNBA, right? Mm-hmm. So the fan base is higher. With the viewership, I'm not gonna say fan base, but the viewership is a lot higher than it's ever been. And they come in and they see these young women out here competing at a level, and they're playing physical. They're doing everything that they've been doing since the inception of the league. But But now you got people who are saying, hey, they too aggressive. That's da. They calling it jealousy. They calling it all sorts of other things. And what they really want to say is, hey, I want these girls to play like girls. And I don't want to see that kind of competition. When dudes play like that, we say, hey, he a dog. You know what I'm saying? But we want y'all to be dainty and play a prissy style of basketball. That's the problem right now.
I take it a step further, Jay. I'm glad you said dog. And before I even go, this is my fourth take, and everybody else that has got 4. Chris haven't got none yet, and I'm blaming Chris because he won't jump in here. So I'm gonna keep. We just go keep going until Chris jump in. Hey, look. So look. You said dog, right? And this is what the media wants, because they expected Caitlin to come in and really destroy these girls. They really thought that she was that good. And now that they're not seeing it, and they're blaming the physical defense, and then they're saying that the physical defense is because of jealousy. And what they really want is those dogs that you mentioned that have canines and fangs. They want them to remove those fangs and play like a cat with a cat, because Caitlin is, in their eyes, a jealous cat. They can't protect herself, so they got to protect her in the media, right? So they want them to get rid of their advantage and their toughness and their edge. Don't play with that toughness and edge. Play Caitlin's game of skill and 3-point shooting and beat her at that game. That's what they want. So they want to act like cats, don't act like dogs no more. But what's going to happen when they do that is she's quietly a dog. And if you come out there and play timid like that, she's going to hit them threes in your face, and she's going to talk junk in your face, and she's going to trash you, and then she's going to look like the dog, and that's okay with them. Because when Caitlin was pushing girls down when she was in college, knocking them down and doing the John Cena, they ain't have no issue with it. The fact that someone is doing it to her, it feels like bullying in their heart, because they see a cat getting bullied by a dog, and they don't want that. That's what it is.
It's definitely easy to be a dog when no dogs are around.
The way I see it is, in college, she was the big fish in the little pond, right? Like Zoe said, the competition was weaker. She could kind of just really run rampant, and the offense was catered to and ran around her. Now she has to play in a team-oriented system, and she's no longer the big fish in the small pond. Now she's the little fish in a big pond. And the fans have a lot to do with the attention that she's gotten. Like Geno said, he's not wrong. He didn't say anything wrong in his statement, right? And it's a lot of those Caitlin Clark fanatics that came through and thought that the game would easily translate, from college to WNBA. And as good as they are at the collegiate level, I think Jay said that these girls also play overseas as well. They're hooping year round. Mm-hmm. They're constantly sharpening their game, right? Then you got the Olympics as well, and I think the women have been dogging the Olympics for a long time in the basketball category, right? So these women are really, really bona fide hoopers, and when you don't have a complete enough game to come, and you coming over from college to the pros, you don't have a complete enough game. You have a lot of flaws that can get exposed easily. When you play against these real hoopers who know how to pinpoint and expose flaws, because that's their whole job, then your flaws are gonna get seen a lot more clearly. And everybody who came for the ride with Caitlin Clark from college, they never saw the chink in her armor like this. They saw that she got cheated in the championship game, or the deck was stacked against her going against Angel Reese LSU and Dawn Staley South Carolina. Right, there was no way she could beat that team, but she's still the greatest. Whatever. But because now that these women that their job is to daily expose flaws of your greatest player or the opposing team, and her flaws are being exposed every day, they don't like that. That's why they're crying for the rule changes and they're playing too hard. But a lot of people forget, in every sport, there's always a welcome to the league rookie moment.
Mm-hmm.
She's having that moment her whole season. And it has nothing to do with what she did. It's literally it's the fans and the media that's saying that she's the savior of the WNBA and all this other kind of stuff. She's gonna be the, like you said, the Messiah. And it is a slap in the face to the Asia Wilsons, the Diana Taurasi's, Candace Parker's, all the ones who came before Caitlin Clark that put blood, sweat, and tears into that hardwood to make the game what it is now. And she's supposed to just come in, shoot a couple threes, and then it's supposed to be her league. Absolutely not. But it's not jealousy. It's literally your welcome to the league rookie moment.
Yeah, I think the I was just going to say.
Go ahead. I was about to say on Chris, but I'll save it.
I was just going to say, I think the media and the fans, the new fan base, wrote a check that Caitlin just can't cash right now.
That's exactly what it is. Phone lines are open, man. DC Slim said, can somebody on the panel disagree? And that's what y'all for. Y'all call in, and if y'all got a disagreement, y'all can let us know. Caller from Louisiana, what's up?
Did y'all mention or talked about when Angel Reese got clothesline?
We not today, but we've talked about it several times before today, and we did mention it, but not today.
Okay, so what was your comparison from when Caitlin got knocked over?
So you want to take that one?
What was our comparison?
Yeah, what was y'all compare? Did y'all compare it, or did y'all even compare the two incidents on the court,
we didn't really compare it. We saw what happened in that incident, spoke on it, and then we saw what happened with Caitlin, and we spoke on it. So, did you have a comparison for it?
Well, I just thought the media made it like it was no big deal when Angel Reese got clothesline like she did, and I thought that was
honestly neither one of them was a big deal.
Yeah,
and that's why we didn't talk. The only reason why we're talking about Caitlin is because it's a response to the media making it a big deal.
Yeah,
we didn't think what happened to Reese was a big deal, so we didn't discuss it like that. But now that everyone is saying Caitlin is getting bullied because of a hip check, we're discussing it. If they didn't make it a big deal, we probably wouldn't discuss it at all.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one, but I just think that they overblown this Caitlin Clark. They invested a lot of time and money to promote her to be the face of the WNBA. And now she's not playing to the standards to where they thought she could dominate the league. And now they're trying to make all these rules. And I think it was unfair. And now she's going to get attacked, and a lot of girls are going to just, make her look bad on the court.
Yeah, and that motivation is the disrespect they're receiving from the media. You know, and it's not personal with Caitlyn. It don't have nothing to do with her being straight. It don't have nothing to do with her being white. It don't have nothing to do with anything. It don't have nothing to do with her $28 million contract with her shoe endorsement. All it is we are motivated by the disrespect we got from the media, and we're going to show you every time you put us on TV. We're going to show you how good we are and how good this league is. That's the motivation that any athlete would have.
Wait a minute.
One more thing before I hang up.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I think Asia Wilson should have had this kind of treatment coming out of South Carolina, in my opinion.
Sure. I mean, she's a thoroughbred, man. Asia Wilson is a one of one.
Yeah,
for sure.
Every day.
Yeah, but hey, thanks for the call, man. I'm gonna open the phone lines up. We got a lot of them coming in. I appreciate you.
All right.
Yep.
I didn't know. I swear I didn't.
Hey, one of my favorite callers. How you doing?
Hi, this is Dita. How are you guys doing? Unspoken Voices.
Unspoken Voices. You made a mistake and said your name at the beginning.
Yeah, but that's okay. I don't care because I got to get this off my chest.
Okay.
Because first of all, we need to stop saying that Caitlyn doesn't play a part. She should not get a pass because she signed her name on a dotted line every time she got those marketing and branding deals. So she can play like she don't participate in watching media, social media, and all that, because she does. Because she's been doing this since she's back in college. See, the ESPN has a contract with the NCAA to do the broadcasting rights. And see, they've been dogging out like South Carolina, Don Staley, and the other black colleges in women basketball college coaches, because they was calling Don Staley's team bar thugs and everything else because they could play good defense, and they shut her down. And they only reason why I got past South Carolina that year when they lost, when they was going, is because of the referees, because they were calling those fouls on them early. Okay, so I'll take that out of this. That's part of the game. You got to play against the referees too. But just like how much coverage have Don Staley and South Carolina got 38-0, 36-0, and won the championship? Yeah. Even when the game was going, Caitlyn Clark actually pushed Bree Hall down and didn't even get a foul call against her. She does that all the time. She's been doing that throughout college, and nobody want to pick that up. And actually, it's our responsibility, everybody on this panel, to tell that story, because she's been pushing people down the same way, elbowing them, and she can't go left, and all she has is that 3-point, which want to make like it so exciting, a 3-point play. I call a good basketball player because you can play in and out. You got to have a lot of things in your toolbox for me to think that you call you great, elite player. And they was calling her a goddamn goat when she was coming out like she's the best thing, like white sliced bread coming out of college. And she's not that. I'd rather take Breanna Stewart, the other lady that's been in the league, if you want to go for color, because they're better than her. And then we need to stop comparing her to having pictures of her next to Michael Jordan, Steph Curry. Compare her ass to another goddamn girl in the league, woman in the league. She should never be compared, to be compared against women when you play in this game, men against men, because that's disrespectful to men, to me. When you compare some girl to a woman shooting 3-point plays. She is a woman. Unless she can have a change, I don't know. But anyway, women should be compared to women, not men are throwing up this false narrative of comparing her to Steph Curry, 3-point play, and having a woman playing in the 3-point play of the All-Star game. That pisses me off, because that should be a young man coming up in the D-League or another player. Why should a woman get that opportunity to make some money off the NBA players when they can't even barely get up in the league?
There you go.
And another thing, I am sick and tired of people shitting on my Kevin Durant either.
Hey, there we go. There we go.
Y'all just mad because he made a decision for himself in 2016. He did his 9 years of contract. He is a free agent. Let y'all want to go back to slavery and where the owners get to tell you how long you can stay there, when you get to move, when your family can live. Just what to do. Let him go that damn free agency. You are not Kevin Durant. He made a decision for himself where he want to work at. How would like me to tell you where to work at? Should I tell you you can't be on YouTube? I don't want you to have a channel. No, you just know. You let them men make their money the best way they can. And I want to go to you, girlfriend. I'm so glad you said that about KC. Because KC, they did the Eagles like that. They did the Eagles like that. And they was going up 15-1. They wasn't talking about them in the media. They was shitting all over. And Patrick Mahomes is just another half and half.
Hold on now. Wait. Whoa. Wait. Hey. Somebody reel that train in. Hold on. Whoa.
That's a black quarterback. So a black quarterback is a black quarterback. That's no half breed. No, I know. I'm just like it because he don't do nothing for the black people. He's like Trayvon Martin. He goes up to his Twitter day. He was shitting all over Trayvon Martin. No, and his brother. His brother got sexual assault. Nobody's talking about that shit. His brother gets to go stomping on foreign players sites and everything, and he up there on TV. You should have seen him in court. But we gonna drag Deshaun Watson to the mud when we know that they have 31 goddamn civil suits against them, and who the hell get the sign off of an in the NFL and didn't get any goddamn signs or anything talked about in the media? And then they're talking about Busby, the goddamn attorney. He lives in the same complex as the owner's son, and the owner's son's granddaughter and his wife are best buddies. But nobody talks about that. They are mad because their son got tired of that shit, and that goddamn J.J. Watt know it. That's why he gonna kick rock. That shit gonna come out with him in his PEDs. Watch and see.
Thank you so much, Spoken Voices. Now, look, do you have anything to say about the price of tea in China?
Huh? From Oakland, California, Goodman Sports Management. We're gonna kick some ass. We're gonna put a ring on the finger for Oakland, coach.
All right, we'll see.
I gotta go with them.
We'll see.
Out of St. Joe, Catholic School in Alameda, California. Hey, my sister Dominique, I'm from the Bay Area too, girl. I sent you a little message through mail. So one of these days I gotta talk to you. I'm an old lady, but I know my game. And Brandy, I'm so glad you back. Let them young men know who we are.
Yeah, we gonna let them spend all night long on the show, man. This the night to spend. We led the show with a WNBA topic, man, for sure.
And I do like Kansas City. I just want to see Kansas City get what Tom Brady and guys did until they had his ass backtracking all the yards. I love that one. All right, I gotta go.
All right, thank you for the call.
Love you guys.
All right, yeah, thank you. Yeah. That's my auntie, Vito.
That's everybody with a wrench. Hey, anybody with some Kansas City slander in the comments, man, we kicking y'all ass out of this. y'all getting what I couldn't get a word in with Vito for. Y'all getting that.
Shout out to my girl winning like 96, man, with the $10
winning like 96.
And big up in the girls on the panel, man. Shout out to the sisters on the panel speaking the mind, holding it down. It's up, fools.
Okay.
All right, let's move real quick. Let me take this phone number down. And we're gonna stick on topic with the WNBA, man, because there was a lot of stuff going on around how this conversation was going. It started with Caitlin Clark, but when they're inviting people like Monica McNutt and Shania Gumake and stuff like that on these panels, and they're talking. These are two players that played D1 basketball, they play WNBA or overseas, and then they cover the league, right? So when I'm thinking that way, I'm like, man, who's better to take advice from when with a topic like this than people who actually played in the league and know what the climate is like and know what the environment is like, right? But when they invite them on these panels, it's almost like the men feel like they have the final say or they're the dominant voice. Now it kind of struck me as odd. So I said that I think the female should be the lead on female sports, on female athletics, especially WNBA. Like let them lead the conversation. We can be part of it, but why do we want to lead that? Like, you get what I'm saying? That's like me wanting to be I want to give you my insight on childbirth. But a lady with 3 kids, I want her to take a back seat to what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? Or you get what I'm saying? Like, why would you want to be the authority figure on that? But Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, they had a conversation about it, man. This is what they said. And I'm going to come back. And just like the first segment, I want to hear from Britne and Dominique first.
Fact.
Stephen A. was talking about, who talks about the WNBA, who talks about the women, who talks about women's sports more than First Take. And Monica McNutt put her foot down and stood on business. You're already smiling.
Yeah, shout out Double M. Shout out Double M, man.
She said, respectfully, with your platform, you could have been doing this years ago.
All right. Who talks about the WNBA? Who talks about women? Who talk about women's sports more than First Take?
Stephen A., respectfully, with your platform, you could have been doing this 3 years ago if you wanted to.
Again, it's interesting, because I got to see the edit. I was on the plane when it happened, but listening to Monica talk, I kind of got the sense of women that talk about men's sports kind of have to watch their tongue and the way they address things. And I never looked at it that way. The way they approach, the way they call things, I never looked at it that way. And now, they're saying that men who are coming into this space need to do similar things. You need to watch the way you address and certain words not to say and do. And it's just a really interesting time. But when you hear those two go back and forth, and obviously, Monica McNutt, had a mic drop on Stephen A. What was your thought?
I love that take, Matt, because we always say, can't nobody really speak about the NBA better than we can, right? She's a female basketball player that's been there and that done it, so it's kind of hard to go against what she's saying. But and she made a point. A lot of times people talking loud don't make you right. And she was real calm with the way she said, and she gave me, she was right. You could have been talking about this 3 years ago. I get that. But at the same time, Stephen A. Smith, they can't get mad at her for speaking facts, Matt, like you just said. It's certain shit we can say and certain words we can use when talking about women's basketball. And when women start to talk about basketball, sometimes you got guys like them, like Stephen A. Smith, that try to overtalk these women, but just because they men. You haven't played either, but just because you feel like you're a man, you overtalk these women, feel like it's certain stuff that they can't say, and that's not right.
My question to you is, do men, if we're going to join this race, do we need to take a back seat and allow the women to lead the race as far as the media goes?
Well, in my opinion, I say yes.
I mean, I ain't mad at that, bro.
Because who can tell you more about it than the women that experienced this?
They did it.
That's what I'm saying. So that's the main thing I like, that women that played it are starting to feel the same way we feel about a lot of people that haven't played the game that have big opinions about it.
Yeah, I ain't mad at that at all. Because again, all the tension is good attention, whether it comes in different forms, good and bad. But like you said, some of these women have either played it on the highest level in the W or played Division I college or overseas and did their thing. So I do feel like
they better than Stephen A.
But I do feel like coming in because we expect other motherfuckers to take a backseat to us when we're talking about our game.
Exactly.
So we need to take a jack. I ain't even mad at that.
Yeah,
I didn't even look at it that way, bro.
Yeah.
But men might need to take a back seat and allow these women to steal the car because this is their game.
Yes.
And
Britne, when it comes to women athletics, specifically the WNBA, who should be the lead in the discussion? Should it be women that have experienced the WNBA, or should it be journalists like Stephen A. Smith, Chris Broussard, Rod Parker?
I wish Stephen A. Smith would shut the never mind. We'll just be quiet. I don't know if I can curse on this program. No, but I think allow women to lead in this situation. They have the experience. They know what's going on the ins and outs of the game in the locker room. None of these men are in these locker rooms, just like none of us are in the NBA locker rooms. And allow us to have a control in this situation. I just feel like it's men just trying to control, not all men. I'm not coming at all men now. But when we watch the media, to me, it just feels like men is just trying to control and create all these crazy narratives about the league. And I'm not liking that whatsoever. Allow, Monica McNutt and Shanae, I can't say her name. Yes, thank you. I'm not even gonna pronounce it. I will have to ask her personally how to pronounce it when I meet her. Break it down for me, but allow them to lead the to lead the conversations about just women leagues in general. And I think the man should be like, you know what, you lead, I'll take the step back, or I'll just follow your lead. and just have that respect for him. I just feel like it's been getting disrespectful, a little bit too disrespectful. And just to go to Stephen A. Smith, I thought he was a coward in that moment. She pointed out something that was truthful. I've been watching First Take for years. And I don't remember, rarely he talked too much about the WNBA prior to maybe the last year or two. So she was right in that moment. Just take your L, move on. He cried about it later. I didn't appreciate that. I thought he was corny for that. I thought he cried like the dude on Friday. He gonna cry in the car. Like, stop whining about it. You took your L, and just respect her for what she had to say and then move on. But the fact that he had to make it sound like he created these women and he created their careers, I didn't like that at all. But to go back to the original question, yes, a lot of women to take the lead on this.
Dominique, why not both? Somebody said it in the comment section. Why not both? And I guess I've never seen two people in the driver's seat driving a car, but maybe that's possible. Why not both?
I think that's a really good question. And I think that that's a fair question to ask, just because men have already been leading the conversation about sports in general, whether it's a female-led sport, even tennis. Stephen A. had a lot to say about tennis, especially when there were those controversial moments that happened. A couple people didn't want to show up to, post-game press conferences, and he had a lot to say about that. But I think what we really need to look at is the fact that Stephen A. only talks about what is trending. So, and the reason why I believe that women need to lead the discussion in sports is because men have shown us and have proven, the leaders in the sports world and the sports debate shows, they have shown us the disgusting way that they're going to talk about the WNBA, its players, how they're going to marginalize us, how they're going to, just simply, state that we're jealous or we hate Caitlin Clark. And these are the most simplest takes that I've ever heard. They are not even giving us in the sport the time and attention to actually watch these games, analyze how we're playing, and have, a sophisticated conversation. You have Chiney Ogumike on your panel and on your show. You have Monica McNutt. So how dare you sit there and say that we're being jealous? You couldn't come up with anything better than that, Stephen A. And that, as educated as he is, as long as he's had, the floor in leading these conversations in sports, you have a unique opportunity to discuss these things and really help put, the sport on the map and the discussion surrounding the sport on the map. And that's how I was so disappointed, because that was how he chose to, present himself, him and Shannon. I felt that they should have been ashamed that morning, because the way they were yelling over her, they were just so defensive. Because Stephen A. knows good and well that he only speaks about what is trending. And I would have respected him to say, hey, those were not the topics that people wanted to hear about. I'm speaking on the things that, that are popular, that are trending. That's what we do. That's what we do in television. And he normally speaks on the business of, his show. So I was very disappointed that he just didn't give that, honest answer, because he could have gotten out of, I don't talk about women's sports, by just saying that, and I think that would have been a much better answer for him. But he chose to jump down her throat. You don't talk about the WNBA. Stop it. The most spoken about is Caitlin Clark, and the fact of the matter is something that Monica McNutt said that was really important and interesting, was that she said 3 years. Do we know why she said 3 years? Because that is when the WNBA started to become more of a desirable product for everybody. That's when it became more popular. Asia Wilson ascended in that 3 years. She has a Nike contract as well. That's obviously not publicized, and the number of that contract hasn't been made public to my knowledge. She had a signature shoe, and we're seeing a lot of dominance in the WNBA and really great, game-changing moments. And it's not only Caitlin Clark impacting that. Yes, she's brought a lot of new fans, and we know which kind of new fans those are, but she's not the only one that we're watching, and the ratings say that. So these are facts. These are not just like my opinion. The ratings show that they're watching Asia Wilson just as much as Caitlin Clark. They're selling
not just as much. Like they actually coming to watch Caitlin Clark a little bit more, probably double almost. But her fan base is a little bit more fanatic on that side. But look, I'm gonna move to Zoe.
ratings, though. They're watching her. They're watching.
Oh, okay.
They're watching.
Okay, I yielded that.
They're watching these people.
Yeah, they are for sure, and it's been growing the last 5 years for sure. You know what I mean? So it was in the right direction. It was going up. So, but she did put a jolt in it. But Zoe, remember when Stephen A. Smith tried to do boxing, and Joe Rogan was like, "This is not you cannot come over here
and just do that."
With the way, first of all, you don't know nothing about fighting in MMA. Was it boxing or MMA? It was one of them. You don't know nothing about this. First of all, you don't know the sport. Second of all, you're trying to use your hot take that you brought over here from basketball and NBA. It works for that. Hot takes and you criticizing players and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He's coming over here and trying to criticize a fighter the way he criticized Kyrie Irving, and Joe Rogan let him freaking have it, right? And that's how I feel about the way he trying to let me bring what I do for the NBA to the female side. All of y'all are jealous. All of y'all are bitter. And they're telling them, the girls are telling them, or the women are telling them, we don't want that over here. Keep that to the NBA. We got something different over here. We still play physical basketball. We don't want to be talked about the way y'all talk about the NBA players. Keep that over there. Let us build our own thing. And y'all can join in on the conversation. We're not saying you don't have a voice, but we're saying it's the WNBA for women. Let women do that thing. What's your thoughts on that?
That's 100%. Like, I think the famous phrase is, men shouldn't be in the front of women's business. Like, bro, like, listen, at the end of the day, yes, it is basketball, and I think that it's great, the platform that women's basketball has been getting over these past couple of years. I'm gonna say years just like that, because like you said, man, Asia Wilson is different. She is different. But anyway, like, it's really hard for me to take Stephen A. serious in anything that he says. Because he has shown himself to be who he is. He's a hot take dude who's been in on the national television when it comes to sports for years and years and years. Everybody in every generation done had it out with Stephen A. because this is what he do. We think about the Iverson takes he's had. We think about some of the takes he's had about Donovan McNabb. This is who he is, and he tried to do that same thing again. And I'm so glad I was watching it. Yo, the face that he made, like he instantly, instead of like Dominique's point, he did not try to say, you know what, you're right, I could have been. He didn't try to say that. He tried to get the sympathy vote. This man like a damn, he put his hand down. He was shaking his head. I'm like, bro, ain't nobody feel sorry for you.
He ain't been invited back since, has he?
Man, listen, bro.
It's one of them things, right? And I hear what everybody's saying, but he gets it, because I've watched First Take several times, especially during the NFL season, right? And when there's an NFL issue, and you got Shannon Sharp sitting right there, or Dan Orlowski sitting over there, he'll say, "I'm gonna turn to you guys because you guys played the game." So he gets it. He says that at least twice a week. That's when he has an athlete on there.
That's real.
That's because they done checked them before, Jay. They checked them before.
But he won't do that to the women because he feels like that his superpower is his mouth, right? Pause.
That was crazy.
But, you know what? Never mind. I don't even want to talk no more.
Why?
That was not. That was not it. That was, you know what? Yeah,
look it down.
Put the crown down.
Somebody in the
don't
comments.
know what that man do at the dark. That's his business.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he do some of that. But look, somebody in the comments said,
wait. Yeah, we ain't even an hour in, y'all. We can't.
He probably be at the Diddy parties for real. Wait for that.
Oh Lord,
but I'm saying he feels like, man, I can. Not only can I out-talk whoever comes on this show, if you beat me, you'll never be back on the show again because I'm the EP.
Control.
Yeah, and I'm the one who invited you on this panel. It's time for the women to have their own spot where they don't have to continue to be invited to a panel. Let them have their own. They got the WNBA rising. That's a rising stock. I was listening to Gilbert Arenas talk to Pat Beverly today, and he was talking about how the WNBA is rising. You know, the first suggestion that he said, oh, now all the former NBA coaches are going to flock to the WNBA to coach WNBA. No, don't do that. Nah, don't come now. No, let hire female coaches. You know, all of that stuff, man. Like, come on, man. You can't take over this league. And I think that's They got to slow down and just
and if you
let
want
them
to
have something from themselves, man.
If you want to keep the show a show, right? So you got the athletes like Monica McNutt and Janae. Y'all know how to say her last name.
Gumake.
Yep, her too. And don't worry about that. And then instead of having someone like Stephen A. leading the conversation, put Elle Duncan and let her lead the conversation.
Ella Duncan?
No, it's L.
It's Ella. There's an E at the end.
Ella would be an A at the end.
Ain't no such something being there and being silent at the same time. I can't talk and be silent at the same time. The E is there. I see it.
Explain pneumatic. Explain pneumatic.
The A and the I in my name is silent.
What you mean explain it?
Explain pneumatic. You said you can't.
I don't pronounce it pneumatic. It's a P in front of it.
No, it's pronounced, bro. Pronounce
no, it's pneumatic. Yeah. It's home to pot. I refuse to conform to you putting a letter there and telling me it's not there. You can't do that. Come on, that's like me saying, hey, look, man, I'm still in your wallet, but I'm not. That's not my hand. That is not my hand. No, you can't tell me something's there, not there, but it's there.
Dude, the whole A and the I in my name is silent.
That girl named Ella. Take the E out of it then. Her name's Ella. I'm sorry. Ella Duncan. Go ahead, Jay. I'm sorry.
Let Ella lead the conversation, bro.
Right.
I'm not even going to argue. I'm not. Sometimes you just got to let them have it.
You're right. But you know what? And I will say, man, I've been watching, and there's been more of a shift to where like there are a lot of all women led panels for like the games and the discussions about like inside the NBA. They'll have a lot more women dominant or all women panels. But for this instance, right, Stephen A and Shannon were completely wrong. First off, they were, and they got blasted. And like I told you guys in the group chat, you never embarrass Stephen A publicly, even if you're right. Right? That's just rule number 1 in ESPN. But I do believe that not just basketball, like women's sports.
Hold on, Chris. Michaela Andrews is not a woman.
Malika. God,
Malika?
names right,
I'm calling
please.
Michaela. I don't like her.
God.
Listen, wait a minute.
Listen. Whether or not she's a plant, it remains to be seen. We get that, right? But still, she is technically a woman, right?
No, she is a science government official.
Yeah, I would call her Terminator, but it's
that works for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do not just in women's basketball. I think in women's sports there should be women led commentary, and people in the comments talking about like why not both. It still can be both. We said women led, not women completely dominant. And I would be fine with women completely dominating women's sports conversations as well.
And this the thing, Chris, and I don't mean to cut you off, but this the thing that because I think it needs to be said. No one's saying it can't be a panel of men and women. We're saying we should take a back seat when it comes to women's sports. I think we should do that. Number one. Number two is that it needs to be someone knowledgeable. It can't be all because I'm a journalist. We got too many qualified females that can do this very good justice by them speaking on it. They're too qualified. And Stephen A. Smith, I mean, think about it. You got a former WNBA player in Agumake and a former D1 player, overseas player in McNutt, sandwiched between a journalist and a football player.
Makes no sense.
And they're trying to tell them about the WNBA. How does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
Shannon Sharp said he got a freaking gold jacket.
That's look, listen, bro. Come on, man.
I think a lot of these guys, Stephen A, Shannon, for example, think that just because, and then I don't understand where Stephen A feels like his 25, 30 years as a journalist qualifies him to be this be all Nostradamus, I know everything about everything sports related guy. And when you played in school, you sucked. So you're not even really qualified to talk about anything. You know what I'm saying? Just because you
Did he play?
WSSU?
He played, he always says he played at what he said he went to Winston-Salem. and blew his knee out before he, you know what I'm saying? So even still, right?
First game.
Something.
Well, look, brace for shock. Burn your sage.
Oh, I know.
Light a candle. DC Slim is here. DC, what's up?
Hey, look, man. I'm gonna be real calm and I'm gonna keep it 1,000 today. You know, went down the wrong road and I'm gonna keep it real with you. First of all, hello, ladies. How y'all doing today? I really don't want y'all to be mad at me for some of the comments I'm about to make, but I'm gonna be very respectful and fair. Okay. First of all, did anybody on this panel play basketball?
Yes.
I'm listening to y'all. Oh, like, did you play in the NBA? Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
not what you asked. You asked if you played basketball.
That's not what you asked.
Well, I'm asking, did you? Because I'm pretty sure Stephen A. played basketball, but he didn't play in the NBA. So let me let me make my point, couple points, because I know y'all gonna interrupt me. First of all, I'm hearing a lot of hate today. I don't like Stephen A. I don't like Caitlin Clark or LeBron James. Let's put that disclaimer out there. But I am gonna keep it 100 because I ain't gotta like you to agree with you. Stephen A. ain't do nothing wrong. You know where Monica McNutt messed up at? When she said you should have used your platform. This ain't the time for you to try to pull my card to help your cause. We talking about this. I'm tired of this, man. Look, if women are going to get into men's sports, you will have to be ready to battle like men. If you
DC Son, that's not the topic. The topic is men and women's sports. That's not the topic.
Hold on. Let me go where I'm going. The problem is women don't support women's sports, man.
Yeah, but that's not the topic, though.
So hold on, wait. That's the topic. That's what you watch this. You say you want women commentators. Ain't no women watching in the WNBA.
Yeah, but that's not the topic.
70%. Just let me look, man. Just let me make my point before you keep it.
All right, I'll let you make your point.
Just going on what y'all was saying.
All right, go ahead. Only because you my dog and you a VIP, I'll let you make your point. But you going off the rails. But go ahead.
Okay, listen. You just said you want women to kind of lead the talk with WNBA.
Not kinda. I want them to lead it.
Okay. So listen, watch this. When they're leading, who's watching? 70%.
I'm watching. I don't need. Watching. Yeah, I don't need Stephen A. I don't need Stephen A. Smith to help me stomach the WNBA.
Listen. I'm trying to make some points. You keep interrupting me, so I can't get where I'm going.
All right, I'll mute myself.
This is not the time to just bash Stephen A. Stephen A. is definitely a clown. No problem. Cool. But he did make some of them people. Don't lie, because that's what you watch it for. You watch it for the clown show. That's why everybody watch it. So you can't just like flip the script because the female felt like something was wrong. Come on, man. Monica McNutt acts like a man when she's on that show. That's no disrespect to a woman, okay? She's on a male show where they use a lot of testosterone and loud voices. Can't come in that joint and trying to put your skirt on. It's not made for that, okay? And that's not a knock to women, okay? But this new narrative being created, just like you just did in this show, all of a sudden we need to put women in a better place. Bro, the WNBA is sponsored by the NBA. If they cut them off, that thing will fail, dog. So stop trying to create this little wedge. I don't know what is everybody doing between gay people and women. It's like, man, we can't say nothing against y'all. It's like we're not allowed to disagree, but I can listen to two women come on this show tonight, dog Stephen A.
You got a problem with that? You got a problem with that?
You know why listen, watch this. Let me show you this.
That's an insecurity though, DC Slim.
But you know what? Hold on.
That's an insecurity.
Brother, man, listen.
But that's an insecurity though, brother.
But you know what? You know what's real? What if somebody said that about her? Would it be fair?
Said what about her?
Then you'll say, if I start talking about a woman, now if I start talking about Monica McNutt, the way you talking about Stephen A., oh my goodness, it's over. I'm not allowed to do that. But she's in an arena.
Wait, what did I say about Stephen A. again?
Man, come on, man. Stephen A. is known as a coon.
Yeah, but what did I say about him? I said he went over to the MMA and made a mockery out of it by trying to bring his NBA persona and how he covered that sport over to the MMA. And they checked him very quick and said, we don't do that here. We don't do that here. And I think the women have the same right and responsibility, not just a right, they have a responsibility to say the same thing and say, no, we're building something over here. We don't do that here. We don't want. Do you want Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp to be debating the GOAT debate in the WNBA the way they do MJ and LeBron? Hell no, we don't want that. We got a fresh start. Listen, we got a fresh start with the WNBA where we can actually see pure basketball without all the nonsense. And I want to keep the WNBA as pure as possible. And we got to keep all of the degenerates like Stephen A. Smith and these football players that try to give hot takes for a living. Keep them the hell out of it. Give me all basketball people, all female basketball people. And then eventually we'll bring some men in that's going to respect it and learn the WNBA before they start trying to be an authority figure over it. At least come in and learn the sport and be around it 2 or 3 years before you trying to be an authority figure. You didn't even play it. You can't play it because you're a man.
I get it now. So you're gonna just I'm not talking about none of it because you had me muted. I see what you're doing now. I'm not allowed to say mine. That's bullshit what you just said. That's pee, not water. You understand what I'm saying? Dog, you just preaching to the choir. I understand you got 2 beautiful young women on here, but this ain't fair, dog. This is some bullshit.
DC Sam, speak to the women. Let them speak for themselves. I'll be quiet. Speak to the they got a question. They let them ask a question. Britne, Dominique, whichever one. If y'all
even make my point until
DC, you don't have a point. DC Sim, you don't have a point.
What makes you think you smarter than me?
I'm not. You smarter than me. I actually think you smarter than me. I actually do. That's why I let you call in every day.
Hey, okay. You let me see. You see what we doing? Hey, guess what you doing?
What?
You sound like Stephen A.
Okay, that's fine. All right.
It's fine. Hey, I'm gonna hang up now, and I'm gonna
no, don't hang up. Don't hang up yet. They got questions for you.
DC, I do have a question for you. You mentioned that you had to listen to 2 women talk poorly about Stephen A. Like, would it have made a difference if Britne and I were 2 ugly women, or if the whole panel were men? Would you be able to stomach that conversation about Stephen A. little bit better?
He's gone now. He hung up. But I think that's an insecurity for him. I mean, and I'm glad I was able to push that button because I want to know what it is that bothers men so much about a woman leading a conversation for the WNBA. It's a woman's league. Like somebody is please call and explain it without the emotion.
Yeah, I might have an angle.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I might have an angle. I don't feel this way, but I feel like this could be how a lot of men probably think. I think a lot of men still have a problem with sports being I just had the word and I lost it.
Infiltrated?
No.
Do they feel like women is shutting us up? Like I talked to one of my friends and he told me, I think it's a fear. Like the issue is not women leading WNBA. The issue is what they think it's going to turn into. There are some men that are threatened, thinking that women are telling them they can't have a voice. And even if a woman told me I can't have a voice in women's stuff, okay, why the hell would I care? If I see a group of women over there talking about women's things and they tell me to stay out of the conversation, why the hell would I care?
I don't.
I know, honestly, though, guys, think about it, though. Why were people upset that we had a Black president? Black people couldn't come up. Women can't, the oppressed need to stay in their oppressed role. We need to stay at the bottom. We need to stay in our place. We need to stay, not talking about these topics. We're not allowed to speak about sports. They let us play. The NBA gave us a league. Oh, whoop-de-doo, and now that we're actually ascending, that's an issue. Right? We're coming out from the bottom. We're trying to, and for some reason, we need to stay there. We need to be kept in our place.
I don't have time for these misogynistic type statements. To me, it's an ego thing. I debate sports all the time with men, and a lot of them can't handle it. They see me, you don't know more sports than me. Oh, well, I do, because clearly, if the first thing you coming at is my gender when I'm speaking to you in sports, that's an insecurity. That's the ego that you got to deal with. I don't have time in the world to deal with that. I'm gonna do what I do, and I'm gonna make you look silly. Matter of fact, you're gonna make yourself look silly. No disrespect to DC Slim, because for the most part, I do like a lot of his takes. I think he's funny, but he just made himself look and sound really, really silly. So that's something he got to deal with. That's the insecurity he has to handle on his own. I ain't got time for that.
But look at this comment. Look at this comment right in front of us. Women do actually have to be careful about what they say about men's, sports. When they're commenting, when you listen and watch Chanae, she is very careful. If you guys remember how she spoke on Kyrie, she knew him personally. She also came from a player perspective, just being careful and sensitive around that and how other players talk about another player. Women are very respectful of men in their sports, and we have to be careful, because if we speak on basketball or any sport the way that the men are speaking on it, then we're called emotional. If we give a hot take on television, we can't do that. We have to report the news. We just have to report what's happening. We have to speak on the game, analyze it, but we can't really give an opinion. If you notice, none of the women really do give an opinion when they're speaking on the men's sport. They just speak matter-of-factly, hey, this is what happened. This turnover happened. But they don't say how they really feel.
Yeah, let me get to this super chat. Malika Andrews, Meaning Kimes, Monica McNutt, Kimberly Martin, Maria Taylor, Joy Taylor, Ella Duncan, etc. Don't have to worry about offending men when covering men's sports, but men can't cover the WNBA. No, we're not saying. See, that's the thing. You're not hearing what we're saying. We're saying let the women lead the discussion because they have all the experience. We have zero experience playing in the WNBA. Can we let a woman who, like a Rebecca Lobo or Lisa Leslie, lead the discussion of the WNBA, especially when we have a topic like, hey, do we think it was women being jealous of Caitlin Clark when they hip checked her, or when this one girl hip checked her, and you get the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo come on the show and say, no, we've been playing like that for years. We got men that have came to the WNBA for the first time this year. And all of a sudden they got an opinion that they think that should be respected as much as Rebecca Lobo's. That we would not allow a woman who just started watching the NBA come up and tell who like Charles Barkley and tell Charles Barkley, no, this is the deal.
But do we really think that Charles Barkley is even watching? That's the worst part of it all, is that not only did they not play in the WNBA, they weren't watching. They weren't supporting the league.
They're still not watching. They're still not watching. And they commenting.
They'll tell you. They'll say, oh, I didn't see what happened right before. Oh, because you didn't watch the game. You have a big opinion about Kennedy Clark, Kennedy Clark hip checking her.
I was listening to a dude today that had a podcast and having this discussion that we're having now with a female on the panel who covered the WNBA. And this dude came out and admitted, I have to admit, I haven't watched any WNBA this season yet because I've been so busy with the NBA playoffs. How you come on here and talk about this and you ain't seen no games?
At least he was honest. To me, Kendrick Perkins is the one who nailed it. He spoke very, well about, the discussion and how, they're getting it wrong. He defended, he came out and said, hey, God, we're getting it wrong. We're getting this discussion wrong.
Here's the
Go ahead, Jay.
Here's the thing. Let's say, for instance, because let me give you an apples to apples example. Let's say right now, LeBron James comes on television and tell everybody, because he's been the man in his locker room for his whole career, for 21 years. He tells everybody how the Dallas Cowboys feel about Dak Prescott as a leader. No matter how great LeBron is, and or not, or whatever, and how much he's been in his locker room, he doesn't have the experience to speak about an NFL locker room and a specific team or whatever to a point of it being fact. You know what I'm saying? Now, Michael Irvin may be a little better at figuring out what's going on in Dallas. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So it's one of those things where no one's saying that, hey, LeBron doesn't know sports or whatever. Hey, the man was flipping plays at age 8 years old in his head. So, you know what I'm saying? We know he knows sports. But sometimes there is someone a little more qualified to speak to an issue. And then let them lead that conversation Because you, when you're watching the WNBA, it's a very different product than the NBA.
Facts.
When you're watching the NBA, it's a very different product than the NCAA. Coach K can't tell you how to run an NBA team. And he's the greatest basketball coach of all time.
What?
But he never did that.
Careful with that, but I'm gonna let you.
I'm cooking.
Okay, I'll let you go. My bad.
You get that off.
No, he did it on purpose because he knew we couldn't. He knew we couldn't jump in the middle of his take.
It was.
And he slid that in there on purpose. That was so slick, man. Hey, we got a call on the line, Roland Curtis, and the phone line is open, man. Y'all can call in. We go try to get 2 phone calls in so we can move to the next topic because we ran behind schedule. Go ahead, Roland.
What's up, Mel? What's up, panel?
Rolly.
Yeah, what's up, y'all? Mr. Slim went Super Saiyan today.
Are you gonna unsubscribe too? All I did, I day one is unsubscribe him because we support women.
I'm going to agree. I'm going to agree to a certain extent with Mr. DC Slim, but I'm not gonna unsubscribe her.
My dog.
I will be a subscriber, but I just wanted to bring up some points that you guys made. So, my thing is, it's cool that we're saying now that AJ Wilson is a thoroughbred. She's we're saying now that she's the best player in the league. Stephen A. Smith said a few days ago she's the face of the league, which that's arguable. I kind of think it's kind of too late now to start bringing up. Somebody mentioned, a caller said that we should have been talking about it when she came out of South Carolina. It's kind of too late now because we're now in this Caitlin Clark era kind of thing where she's kind of broken the whole thing open, and now we're trying to go backwards to talk about somebody else, and nobody really wants to hear it. Even on your rundown, Mel, you had Caitlin Clark as the first topic. And I know, obviously, I've been at your channel for a while. I don't know if you've ever had AJ Wilson on your rundown before. You may have, and I might have forgotten, but I know you've had Caitlin Clark on your rundown.
Yeah, but AJ, I'm already working on it because I'm doing my top 5 MVP for the WNBA. I'm just trying to make sure I see all the teams play before I make that educated opinion.
Wow, you mean to tell me? Wait, man, hold on. You mean to tell me to be knowledgeable before you speak on it?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. I am not gonna hand the league over to a rookie with no accolades in the professional career over somebody with a resume like Asia Wilson. I'm not following the media trend. I'm not doing it. This is Asia Wilson's league, and it's been Asia Wilson's league for the last few years. Convincingly, it's not arguably, it's not an opinion, but it's facts. The numbers are there, the accolades are there, the talent is there.
But I kind of feel like it's kind of too late to say it now. Because
it's not too late.
She's dominating.
We're not glossing over her. She's still running the league.
Caitlin Clark's not even rookie of the year for me.
We was talking about Kwame. We was talking about Gilbert Arenas during the Kwame Brown era. Oh, that's right. Some people don't get an era. You say it's the Caitlin Clark era. She ain't got no damn era yet.
What has Caitlin Clark done for this to be her era in the WNBA before over
let me answer that question. Let me answer that question. So the young lady on the panel said that as many people are watching Asia Wilson as Caitlin Clark, and Mel, I'm glad you disagree because that was definitely wrong. When you talk about what she's done that other players haven't done, so for the last 3 seasons of the WNBA, on average, the viewership per game was 372,000, 372K. Now it's in the short season it's been so far, it's 1.4 million. So 1.4 million, that's an increase of 226% from 372,000. So that's why it's kind of the Caitlin Clark era.
Well, make her the commissioner of the league. Then they ain't got nothing.
Let me ask you.
I'm just saying, listen.
Let me ask you a series of questions, and it's just the answers just need to be real concise, number answers, right? How many MVPs does Caitlin Clark have?
0.
How many MVPs does Asia Wilson have?
I don't know.
Not
more
0.
than 0, correct?
Yes.
3.
Okay. How many defensive players? How many defensive player of the years does Caitlin Clark have?
0.
How many DPOYs does Asia Wilson have?
I don't know.
More than 0. How many WNBA championships does Caitlin Clark have?
0.
How many does Asia Wilson have?
At least one.
She has 2. She repeated.
2.
She's two-time defending WNBA champion. It is not Caitlin Clark's era. Continue.
Speaking of two-time defending champions.
That last minute or so proves that it is, because there's many people in the chat that didn't know anything about the Asia Wilson answers, and we only know about the Caitlin Clark answers because it's her time. We know.
Roland, you got to admit though, the reason why people didn't know about it is because the mainstream wasn't pushing it, and the mainstream wasn't pushing it not because she wasn't an amazing player, but because they weren't interested in pushing it. They're interested in Caitlin Clark because she was an amazing college player, but she's not an amazing pro right now. So they're pushing. The love affair. But listen, it's been a lot of amazing college players come out. The reason why they fell in love with Caitlin Clark is because the majority demographic chose her. They chose her, and that's fine. But it's the majority demographic. Now, if you look at the social media profile of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have more people actually following her.
Yeah.
Right. She does. If the NBA really or the WNBA really wanted to grow, they would figure out a way to market Caitlin Clark as well as other players, especially the best. So you got the best player in the league in Asia Wilson. You got the most unique and appeasing play style in Jewel Lloyd. You have a rookie phenom in Caitlin Clark and the most popular player in the NBA in Angel Reese. If you take those 4 people and market them, the league will grow even more than it's growing now with just marketing Caitlin Clark.
That's a fact.
Mel, can I? The young lady, she said something to DC Slim about how, if they weren't good looking, would people be viewing the show? I gotta take some of that and apply that to Angel Reese. Now you mentioned her followers and stuff, and even Angel Reese said herself she's been sexualized. If you look at Angel Reese and you look at Caitlin Clark, obviously Angel Reese, in my opinion, Angel Reese is more attractive.
That's false. Caitlin Clark, one of the baddest chicks in the WNBA. Let's be real.
No.
Let's be real. No. I gotta stop you right there, and I gotta go to the next caller. But hey, I gotta stop you right there because you're not gonna talk about Caitlin Boo Boo like that. She's one of the baddest chicks in the league. You seen her with heels on? Did you see that alligator skirt she had on draft night?
What was 85 though? Because you guys don't want to finish.
I wish the alligator was still alive.
But I also want to point out to you that Asia Wilson had the highest WNBA finals ratings in all of WNBA history, just to be clear. So, in Caitlin Clark, I don't think she's making the average this year. Just so you know, this year, if you take a look at the television ratings, they are in line with Caitlin Clark's. People do want to watch the Las Vegas Aces. They do. So if you look at those numbers, I think her had 1.3 million and Caitlin Clark had 1.4. So she's edging them by a bit, but again, she's breaking records and it's just not being put out there.
No, but there were 7 games a few days ago, 7 WNBA games, including Reese, including Asia Wilson, 7 games where Caitlin Clark wasn't playing, and the average attendance in those arenas was 7,000. But the 2 games
that's the attendance that they have. You can only sell out the seats that you have. So I appreciate these stats.
You said your stats. Let me say my. Can I say my stats? You said your stats. Can I say mine? So I was saying the average attendance for those 7 without Caitlin Clark was 7,000, but the 2 games that Caitlin Clark played was 17,000. So that's almost 3 times. Okay, before I go, Mel. Okay, no.
Well, hold on. Let me get one of y'all talking to this at one time. Hey, go ahead, Dominique. But speaking to the mic. Speaking to the mic, Dominique.
The seats that they have are less than the arenas that they are putting Caitlin Clark in. So the WNBA, before Caitlin got there, they decided that they were going to market her instead of marketing people that have a larger following than her, that are actually way more popular. Angel Reese was at the Met Gala. You think people aren't going to watch her play? That's crazy.
Yeah, they missing the ball on this, Roland. Remember, they're not even putting some of these games on TV. Almost all the Caitlin games are on TV.
36 of 40 games this season
are getting sold out. So Asia Wilson, she's selling out arenas, but they only have X amount of seats. So they're moving Caitlin Clark's games to literally NBA arenas so that they can meet that demand, but they're not doing that for the other players and the other teams. But they are selling out their arenas. Chicago Sky is selling out her arena. Yes, they are. I'm just telling you that.
Man, hold on, Roland. Make your last point, man, because this phone, it's a lot of people that's trying to get in here, man, and not too much on my Puerto Rican princess, please.
Who? This is my last point. My last point is this. Mel, you made the analogy of. I mean, this topic right now is about let the women lead because they've actually experienced it, and this goes back to what we've talked about before about if you've done it, does that give you more? Should I give you more of a front seat?
Not necessarily, Roland. I mean, because it's a couple of men that's been following the WNBA for years and calling the games. So obviously they've done the homework, they've done the work to earn the respect, to be respected in that field, right? But for someone to not do that work and try to take over on someone that actually played in the league, I can't do that.
Okay, but you use the analogy of you say you're not qualified to talk about childbirth and that a woman who has 3 kids.
I can be qualified if I study it. Hold on, Roland. I'm gonna let you go. Roland. But listen.
Can I ask you?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you're a doctor and you delivered all 3 of those kids, who's more qualified to talk about childbirth? You or those?
I answer that question because everything I say is well thought out before I even say it. If I'm a doctor, yes, that qualifies me more than most men, or probably all men, unless it's another doctor, right? But I can't get pregnant and carry the baby for 9 months and experience it. So I can't override a woman's experience. Yes, I studied it, right, but the experience that gives me a foot in the door to be able to sit down at the table with a woman that has the experience and have a conversation. We can have a back and forth conversation. What I'm saying is that example is not being personified when we see Shannon Sharp and Stephen A. Smith. They know nothing about the WNBA. They're not watching the games. They're not equivalent to a freaking doctor who has delivered multiple babies. They're not that. You get what I'm saying? So when we see all these dudes on TV, everyone that's talking about the WNBA on these talk shows, none of them watch it. And they've admitted that wait, they don't watch it and they've admitted it. They don't watch the games. And then the ones who do watch games have only watched Caitlin Clark's games.
But what about the doctor who studied childbirth for 8 to 12 years and the woman's only had a baby, she only held the baby for 9 months?
Roland, we can't have this conversation.
Roland, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if a doctor studies his entire life about childbirth.
He ain't push no baby out.
Have a child,
right?
No baby out, bro. Like,
dude, I will always take somebody who goes through the experience words before I take anybody else's. He can have all the doctorate degrees in the world. He could have delivered 1,000 babies, but he's never pushed one out. It doesn't matter if she pushed out 1 or 10. She has more experience.
Hey, Roland, because you one of our day ones, I'm gonna save you and end this conversation so you don't say nothing to offend nobody, because that's out of love. All right, that's out of love, Roland, man. But I appreciate the call.
Take the off and just hand that man that L.
Hey, Roland, I concede the argument. I lost. If it means that much to you, yes, I lost. I concede the argument, but I don't want you to continue down this path, brother. I love you, man.
All right. Thank you for taking my call.
Thanks for the call.
He was going into the cauldron. He was going into the cauldron. I was finna cook him.
Caller from New York.
Oh man, yeah. It was hitting that voicemail over and over.
My bad, big dog, man. I was trying, you know what I mean? I'm trying to get him in and out, man, but I ain't doing such a good job, man. But help me out with this call, man. But go ahead and make your point and then let us lobby it while you get off. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm trying to follow. I was trying to follow along as closely as possible what your original question was, but listening to everybody, it kind of the main point kind of got congested. What was the initial? What was initially what we were focusing on? That's really what I was.
Should men be the lead when we're having a discussion about women's athletics, specifically the WNBA?
Should men be the lead,
right?
As far as the commentators, so on and so forth.
Yeah, when we have both options of a journalist like Stephen A. Smith, a football player like Shannon Sharp or LaShawn McCoy, or an actual athlete that played in the WNBA like Shanae Ogumake, which one should be leading that discussion?
I take the words of the professional athlete a little bit more to heart, because one, they were in that sport. More than likely the one that they were talking about, like say when somebody's talking about football and Shannon Sharp chimes in and he's giving some of the terminology. Somebody who's never played the game can go study that and understand, just like how they say you got great coaches who never actually been in the game. So it's credence in studying the thing as well as experiencing it. But from what we're hearing, or what it seems like we're speaking on, is people who haven't even been paying attention and giving their input to it. Now, mind you, we still are talking about basketball to a certain extent. And for those who are following men's basketball, I can understand when I see a play being run by a woman or a man in the same vein as,
correct.
You know what I mean? If NBA is my main point of focus. I think the differentiation of that I see here mainly is that the way that the game is officiated is differently in the men's and women's side. Right?
Correct.
And for those men who are not paying attention to it, it seems odd to be like, yo, that looks like 80s basketball, how they just beating up on people. You know what I mean? And like the refs are swallowing their wisdom. So,
and but the girls is telling them, look, man, leave us alone. This is what we like. This is what we want. Let us do our thing. This is what we want. Don't just because the NBA went soft and listen, it's a lot of people that's going to jump from the NBA to the WNBA because they respect the way they play and how they leave it all on the floor. This nonsense we see in the regular season with the NBA, and they want to all of a sudden, let them get physical in the playoffs, but then they want to dictate which game they want you to get physical so they can kind of dictate which team is going to have the advantage and who's going to win. Like all of that nonsense, man, the Vegas and the rigging of the games, people are done with the NBA. We just need another product. That's why I've been enjoying the WNBA so much. That's why I bought the league pass. That's why I'm learning all these teams and all these females. That's why I'm educating myself and watching it and having these discussions, because I like that product a little better than I like the NBA right now. But thanks for the call, man. I appreciate you, brother. Hello?
We got another one?
Yeah. Oh, I guess you're trying to get to the next. I do.
Yeah. Go ahead and finish your last point. Then we'll roll.
Now, my point, I don't know if I said this last time that I did jump up here with you. I think that the reason why the officiating is as it is, mind you, also, and two, just to give a concise answer to your point where you're saying, should men be involved? If you were studying the game and you were part of the game, researching it, just the same way that we give respect to Joy Taylor's opinion because she knows her football, you know what I mean? If you know what you're speaking about, we get an idea that you coming from a genuine place, I can respect your opinion on it. Just
of course. But when you come in somebody else's house, wipe your feet, sit your ass down. Yeah. And you know what I'm saying, and speak when spoken to. Like sometimes you got to do that. And Joy Taylor does that. She's not coming in and saying, I think the men should do X, Y, and Z like the women's league. She's not saying that. That's what Stephen A. Smith and Shannon, and that's what caused this conversation, because they're telling the girls, this is how y'all should do y'all league. And they're pushing back.
I understand why they say that though. I do understand why they say that, because they're using the NBA as a focal point of the success that they were able to garner. Because
and they don't want, but the NBA is dying, brother. The NBA is dying a slow death, brother. Trust me, it's dying a slow death.
They still are very profitable, whereas
there's two different conversations being had.
Exactly. That's what
there's two different conversations being had. Stephen A. and them and Charles Barkley and everybody that's chiming in, to me, for the most part, is they're saying this is how you should play ball to grow the league, to make the most money.
Yeah.
And the players are saying
$1 is the most important.
The players are saying we're trying to play the best brand of basketball that we can play. They're not even having the same conversation.
Yeah.
And there's the disconnect right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thanks for the call, New York, man. I appreciate you. Let me get this other one in here, man. Thanks for the call, man.
All right.
All right, Missouri, you the last call. We gotta move on, man. What's your thoughts?
Hey, what's up?
What's good? Make it quick. Make it quick.
How y'all doing?
We good. We good.
Okay, I'll make it quick.
Yeah.
Okay, look, I'm listening to the conversation. I also listened to the last show that you had. So I've been a fan of women's sports, women's ball since I saw Cheryl Swoops, Cynthia Cooper. I saw they three-peat. I was a fan of Tennessee Lady Vols when Pat Summitt was the coach. I've been watching these sports for a long time. The thing with what's going on right now with Caitlin Clark and everything, the league that she plays in, the Big Ten is not a women's basketball conference. Okay, they have 3 and 2 star recruits and stuff like that at best. They may have a 5-star or 4-star occasionally, but the level of talent that she played against, now she had a phenomenal year, don't get me wrong. I was on deck with her. I don't have nothing against her. I like her game is nice. She got a nice game. What the league is dependent on is for her to carry the league to a higher standard. But the skill set that she has for the level of talent that she gonna face night in and night out, I don't think that's gonna jive. Because if she shut it down, and that's the kind of defense that she gonna face night in and night out in the league.
Yeah, of course.
So when people talk about what she bringing to the league as far as the attention and all that kind of stuff, that's true. They all joining in because of her, and they joining in because of Angel Reese. They are the modern day Magic and Bird and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But is it going to carry over her skill set doing what she did in college? I'm not hating on her, but I just don't think she's going to reach that level of success.
She might not. I mean, but she getting a glimpse of it right now. Right now, she's playing the Mystics, who's a team who haven't had a win yet this season. They're up by 2 points with 3 minutes left. Caitlin has 25 points. She's 8 for 14 field goals, 7 for 12 3-pointers, +2 on her plus minus, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 7 turnovers, 4 steals, 3 fouls.
Damn.
She hooping.
But if I'm not mistaken, again, I follow the league. Ain't the Mystics 0-9?
Mystics are 0-9, and they on the back end of a back-to-back. They just played Chicago last night, and that was a rough game.
Right. So, again, as far as the people in the league, I saw what they did to Candace Parker when she was a rookie. Yeah. And all of this stuff, I saw all of that when these high-profile rookies come into the league. Ain't nobody targeting her. Ain't nobody jealous of her, nothing like that. That's the thing that they've been doing since I've been watching. I've been watching WNBA for 20 years.
I agree.
And ain't nobody doing nothing to her that they ain't do nothing to no other high-profile rookie coming into the league.
I agree.
Welcome to the league, rookie.
So,
I agree.
I mean, and that's just what it is. Now, as far as the stuff they
you got another take?
Happen,
how long this one go? Because we trying to move on. You got another one?
No, go ahead. Man.
All right, thanks. What's your name, brother?
My name's Byron.
Byron. All right, Britt. I appreciate you, man. Hey, stick with us in the comment section, though.
I just subscribe with you. I'm on that.
That's my dog, man. I appreciate it, bro.
Appreciate the love, brother.
My man, y'all have a good weekend.
All right, you too. Yep.
As well.
I like Byron.
Yeah, he dope. It was another caller from Alabama coming in, but I already know that we gotta move, man, because I was trying to make it 2 hours. We might. Hey, I'm sorry, y'all. We might go a little bit over 2 hours. My apologies.
No, we won't.
Super show.
No, we won't.
Jay. This nigga Jay, man.
Super
hey, man.
show.
Everybody hit the like button. I appreciate everybody in the comment section, man. Everybody agree, disagree, whatever. It don't matter. We can do it cordially. It ain't got to be personal and all that stuff, man. DC Slim. He'll probably text me tonight. We'll have a conversation. You know what I mean?
Nah, he done. He done with you.
Nah,
he ain't done. That's my dog.
He's been hot with us before.
I'll see him on Wednesday.
For a couple months. He'll be back.
Yeah.
He'll be back next week, man. That's my
I've
dog.
seen you guys have much worse disagreements on the show.
Man, DC. Yeah,
I didn't see where he got upset. He just was like, you know what?
I mean, I told him he didn't have a point because he wasn't speaking to what my point was. How can you have a point when you're like, hey, I said the sky is blue and you start telling me about a Tesla?
It's deflection.
Are you going to tell me? Are you going to agree that the sky's blue, or are you going to tell me otherwise? But like, if I'm trying to figure out if the sky's blue or not, and you start telling me about this Tesla, I'm like, dude, like,
we're not talking about the same thing.
If you notice, every single time we have this discussion, it gets like this, right? Men in particular, they become very defensive. He's Stephen A. himself on this call. Stephen A. got the same way. He got sad. He got upset. Then he just got talking.
Don't do this to him. No, don't do that. Don't do that to
DC.
Don't do it like that. That's my homie, man. That's
DC still the homie. Stephen A. is crazy.
DC the homie forever, man. For real.
Hey, shout out to DC Slim, man. He's an amazing talent.
Yeah, he is for sure. All right, let's move on to the Lakers, y'all. Danny Hurley.
That was
Danny
tough.
Hurley. I don't understand.
Tough. Why was that so tough?
What was tough?
That whole segment. we won 40 in.
An hour and 40 minutes. Golly.
Hey, listen. Hey, we ain't taking calls with this segment.
No, we're not taking calls this segment for sure. We might take it on the last one. That's about it. But
and we ain't even taking opinions on this. The Lakers are interested in Dan Hurley. All right, let's go.
You don't want to hear the soundbite either. You don't want the soundbite.
Nah, I want to hear the soundbite, man. I'll just play it.
Nothing
to talk about.
You sound like you're tired of this topic.
I forgot where the soundbite came from. I'm just gonna push. I'm shocked too.
JJ Redick.
Yeah, you know what? That's.
You know
well,
what?
let's play. Let's. I think it's Geno again, Zoe. Zoe, I want you and Chris to go first on this one because we kind of stole the airways from y'all on the last segment. So I definitely want to hear from you and Chris first. But I think this is Geno talking about when he was like having a casual conversation with Danny Hurley just about, man, you should probably take the Lakers job. And he said it in jest. And then the next morning he woke up and the news popped out, which is very weird. And then I want to play for you what Paul Pierce said about college coaches coming to the NBA, and then I want to get Zoe's opinion.
His reaction to the Danny Hurley to the Lakers.
You know, this is really funny because I happened to be at a thing with him last night, and I have no idea what's going on. You know, I have no idea where this is going and what's happening. But I said, just leaned over and I said, "Hey, I think you could win a lot of championships with the Lakers." You know, more so than a guy who's never coached. And he just looked at me and, you know, nodded, and we had a good laugh. And then this morning I wake up and voila. So I don't know what's going on. And it'd be a bad day for UConn for sure if this happens. And it would be a great day for Dan Hurley. And I'm sure, a bittersweet day for Dan Hurley.
Okay. Now you're being serious that you did bring this up to him last night about the Lakers, John?
Out of nowhere, I just leaned over and I said, you know, I don't know why it came to me. I don't know why, but I said it. And if you ask him, he'll tell you. And I had no idea. And I woke up this morning and somebody sent it to me and I went, you got to be kidding me.
I know that he's talked about not going to another college job, that if he does go down the road when he thinks he's mature enough to coach in the NBA, this happened a lot quicker. But I'm wondering the state of college basketball, certainly men's college basketball, Geno, does that make this decision a little bit more, I guess, palatable or easier when you think about him wanting to go to coach the NBA instead of trying to go for a three-peat?
All those are true. I think the state of college basketball is a mess. If anybody could manage it, though, it would be Danny, because he coaches this program like it's a high school program, like he coached at St. Benedict's. Their player development program is second to none. But I do think that being at UConn and given the state of college basketball and the amount of money now it's going to take to be able to put together a national championship team every single year, I think, and without knowing where it's going, it's a charade. It's this idea of student athlete welfare. Every single thing that comes out of the NCAA's mouth about student athlete welfare, it's bullshit. That has no factor ever anymore. And I never want to hear anybody utter those words associated with college basketball. They are professional athletes, just not called that. So you might as well go coach professional athletes where it's real. Now.
All right, so Bobby Hurley, LeBron James, JJ Redick. Make some sense out of all this and let me know if they do go with Bobby Hurley, is that the better choice?
Man, listen. Stop.
Bobby.
Dan.
Nigga, your name is not Zoe.
Dan. His name is not Bobby.
You calling him Bobby?
Oh, but I said Bobby Hurley.
You said Bobby like 4 times.
That's his brother, bro. That's his brother. And I was
Bro, I'm over here off this peach. You know what?
No, don't say nothing.
You don't hold that against me.
No,
come on. You can supposed to have my back.
We was just trying to let you know, like,
yeah. I just said,
I
your
ain't,
name is
bro.
not
I ain't even
Zoe.
hear y'all, man. I ain't even hear y'all.
And
I'm
I
over
get
here.
chastised.
I'm over
Your
here.
name is not Zoe.
I was trying
I'm
to
over
tell
here floating, boy.
I was trying to tell you before you, but you was on your soapbox. I couldn't let you.
I didn't say Danny not one time.
Not in his last time. No, you said Bobby. Bobby Hurley.
Brother, bro.
Well, at least I spelled. Well, at least I spelled it right on the thing.
Yeah, that's his brother. It don't matter. I mean, I guess
Yeah,
we call
yeah.
him, when I call my
We'll
son.
call him Bobby.
We'll call his mama name him Bobby. I'm gonna call him Bobby. All right. Danny Hurley is definitely the better choice for this. As a coach with experience, championship level experience. Granted on a college level, but to Geno's point, the college level, and I know because I know some college athletes, some high caliber college athletes, well, soon to be college athletes, they getting the check. They are getting to the bag. Like he said, they're professional athletes now. They just not called that. And it wasn't like that for a very, very, very long time. So salute to them for getting that bag. But yeah, man, JJ Redick, we've talked about this ad nauseum on this podcast as far as what his qualifications should be and what they are for the Lakers job. Now, what I will say is it would have created some great content from us. We would have definitely had some stuff to talk about had he if he was to get that job. But at the end of the day, when we're talking about what we look for, if you're not a point guard, as a former player, if you are not a first of all, I look to the former players first and foremost. But if you're not a former player, then you need to be well established in the coaching realm in order to be able to coach professional athletes. Like you have, I just think that it's a requirement for me. I don't want my coach coming off a podcast. If that's the case, somebody let Pat McAfee coach the Colts. Right, we're not making logical sense out of this. So when I saw the day before that, ironically, I saw that I think it was Shams or Woj. One of them said that, barring unforeseen circumstances, JJ's the guy. He's the guy that they're targeting. You know, it was Shams. It was Shams, Jay. It was Shams. So I'm like, oh, and I sent it to the group chat. I'm like, this is going to happen? It's really going to happen. I thought in a million years that JJ, this was the lead up to whatever he coaches down the line or gets an assistant job. I never in my mind really thought that he would actually get the job. So when I saw that he was a front runner, I was like, okay, maybe they're coming to their senses. I don't know. Danny Hurley is definitely the better candidate, and I would love to see what he does, not just for this year, because LeBron probably, maybe, I don't know, on his way out. But I think talking about it for the future, I think Danny Hurley would be good.
What about with LeBron this year?
Oh, now we're talking about something different.
Listen, anybody truly coach LeBron?
That's what I'm saying. Like LeBron, who do we think LeBron wants to be the coach? This
LeBron. I don't know. Well, let me play what Paul Pierce said, and then Chris, let me get your thoughts.
For sure.
I'm not so sure about this, Key, because as a NBA player who came into the league with a college coach, I was on the team with Rick Pitino, and I didn't know no difference. Coming in straight from college to the pro, dealing with a college coach. I thought college was just like the pro coming in. So I'm like, when we get on the line, this is what we do, and then, you hear the veterans whisper in the locker room, this is not the NBA. This ain't the NBA. And I just think with college coaches that their patience wears thin when they've had success at the college level. Their patience runs thin in a player's league. So now you go from the college coach who's used to being the dictator to somewhat telling you what you need to do, where you need to be on time, to now the players are telling you what to do. It's hard for college coaches to just make the transition to the pros. If I had to say between bad, good, and great, I think this is a bad fit for the Lakers.
What you say, Chris?
I get what he's saying. In college, you're dealing with young men that you're molding for the next level, right? You're kind of helping them grow, helping them mature. Like they're still learning, right? It's still school, right? You're teaching them, right? In the pros, you're dealing with grown ass men with egos and contracts, right? You got these young men in school who are playing to prove a point. Maybe not now because NIL is here, but even still, they want to play to get the bag. So they're still here to prove a point, right? But once you get to the league, it's more, me, I, my next contract, right? You're dealing with a lot of egos, especially if you have, superstars, generational talent, stuff like that. And it's a lot more sensitive to have to navigate between, coming from college where, these guys are kind of like listening and looking up to you. Whereas you in the pros now, and these guys are like, hey, I've been here, I've been doing this. You just got here. You should probably listen to what I got to say. It's not really common for the college coaches to transfer to the pros, and it turns out well. Not saying that it's impossible, but I think he would have a better chance if it wasn't a LeBron-led team.
So you saying he shouldn't take this job?
No.
So you like JJ Redick for?
I didn't say that either. I didn't say that either. I think out of the two, Dan Hurley is obviously the better qualified candidate for the job. I'm going to take somebody with coaching experience altogether.
Right.
I'm not, and we've seen it where point guards and players have jumped from the court to the clipboard, and just because they have a player's mind or they play, it doesn't necessarily translate well. I.e., Steve Nash in Brooklyn, he handled that situation terribly, right? But he was a great point guard. So saying JJ Redick is a good option for the job just because he was outstanding at Duke, he has a basketball mind. Like we've seen this story before. We're currently watching Chauncey. I mean, Chauncey got handed a raw deal, but we know how great of a player Chauncey Billups was, and he. Come on, Jay, come on now.
What did he turn his head to?
When I said how great of a player Chauncey Billups is,
hey, I think he should be a Hall of Famer.
Hey, listen, don't do that, Jay. Don't do that.
Don't turn your head.
So we're seeing, how his transition from being a player to a coach is. It's not all peaches and roses. So
peaches and roses. I've never heard it, but I like it. I've never had peaches and roses, but I've had peach crown and wild Irish rose mix.
Yeah, rose. Yeah,
peaches and roses.
No. I don't have money for rose. Why? I said wild Irish rose, passion fruit. Yes,
I could go to the gas station and pick that up.
Yes,
it doesn't always translate to peaches and roses. But
T-shirt, peaches and roses.
Peaches. That's another one.
T-shirt.
That's another one.
Peaches and roses.
Yeah, so I think it's a bad deal for either candidate. But if I had to choose between one or the other, I would take Dan Hurley, the actual coach, one with somewhat championship experience, over a podcaster who played.
Right.
Jay.
Oh, you shaking your head, Jay. What did you about to say, bro?
No,
he's
Dan
a dookie, man. He loves JJ Redick.
Dan Hurley most certainly ought to take that job. And from his brother, with his brother being Bob Hurley, Dan Hurley's part. He's part of the brotherhood, man. We claim him.
Okay,
yeah, we claim him. It's Duke on Duke crown. Don't worry about that. Listen, there's no way that he's gonna three-peat. There's no way possible.
Yeah,
because the way the college game is set up now, the teams that's going to be great in basketball will be Alabama, Michigan, Ohio State. Wait a minute, those sound like the teams that's great in football, right? Because now they'll have more money from the football program to pay the athletes top dollar.
Yeah,
period. So all of the blue bloods that were the elite of college basketball, that's over.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
That's over. So all the old guards, for the most part, everybody seen it coming down the pipe. The Roy Williams, the Coach K's, they said, man, hell nah, we don't want no part of that. We done. It's a good time to end a career. Listen, so you're going to a place in the league. The league is about the players. In college basketball, it used to be the coach was the star and the players were the supporting cast.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be the star anyway. You may as well go get that big bag in LA and listen, if it goes wrong, you got a built-in excuse. We're going to blame LeBron anyway. We're going to blame him anyway. And if the year after that goes wrong, we're going to blame LeBron for making them choose Bronny. So you got 3 years to even put a dent in anything before we even start saying, hey, let's start holding him accountable.
So if he take that job,
it's the perfect situation for him.
If he take that job, he got a bag of money and a bag of excuses.
Listen, they said they're trying to give him a long-term, substantial amount of money contract. Dude, take that shit and run. You can't do nothing but get rich. Even if you fail, you're rich.
In LA, Jay. Get rich in LA.
In LA.
It never rains in Southern California.
And what he wants to do is become I think the first coach ever to win at the high school, college, and in the NBA level. He had the chance to do something that has never been done.
Yeah.
So put that man. Hey, take it. I take it. There's nothing to lose there.
Nothing.
Y'all thought I was gonna say JJ Redick, didn't you?
I did.
He was going down that path.
Mel, I can't hear you, bro.
No, yeah.
Oh, my bad. Either way, it's Duke. I had to mute my mic because my neighbor's dogs, he got like 1,000 of them, and they over there barking. I don't know what they doing.
How many you got, yo?
1,000 of them. All French bulldogs looking like freaking. Nah, I ain't gonna say that. You might watch the show.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Wait. What's you? Go ahead, y'all.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the better option, in my opinion, would be Dan Hurley. Not because he's just the great college coach, but I think when it comes to the Lakers, they have a lot of young players on that team, a whole lot of young players, and he's very good at player development, and I think that's important. Now, I do have concerns because if LeBron is on that team still, I know he has a player option this summer. Will he take to his coaching? Will he take to his game plan that he has for the team? That answer, I'm not sure. To be honest, I don't think he will. I still think LeBron will have some sense of control. And is Danny Hurley okay with that? So, I mean, I know that's a conversation that they'll have very soon because he's not going to have as much control as he did in college. Let's be real. You know, like I think Chris stated, or Zoe, you stated it. This is a players' league, right? So they have a lot of the control over the coaches, which is why Coach K never wanted to coach in the NBA whatsoever. Yeah. He couldn't do what he wanted to do. But JJ Redick, I be honest with you, I think I don't want to go too rude here, but JJ Redick as an option to me was just a joke. I really think it was a joke. I think it was, he's good friends with LeBron. They have a podcast, but when you look at it from a bigger picture, the other players in that locker room, they're not going to have respect for JJ Redick. They're going to look at him like, you got this job because of LeBron and you're good buddies with LeBron. That's what it is. Yes, when he speaks on his podcast, I've listened to him. He knows his X's and O's. Definitely. But do you know how to develop players? Can you earn the respect of these players? Are you able to mentor a lot of these young players? I don't think he has any of that ability. The only thing to me that he has, that the ability that he is able to do, is keep complaining about Doc Rivers and how Doc Rivers benched him years and years ago. Nobody cares about that. We want to know
his hair be dope too, though, Britne.
And his hair, right? We want to know your coaching, and I agree with you guys. He should be go through the ranks of coaching, and not just become a head coach. But I'm going with Dan Hurley.
So check this out. The Lakers, you know, I think if they do get Danny Hurley, I think they go do kind of how they did it when they got Frank Vogel, and they get Frank Vogel, but they get the coach that's really gonna be able to help him a lot, like Jay Kidd. Remember, they brought Frank Vogel in with Jay Kidd. Right, and that was like a really good 1-2 punch, right? It wasn't just Frank Vogel. So if they bring in Danny Hurley, I really do think they'll probably go get somebody like Rajon Rondo or Sam Cassell, somebody who can actually really help them out, you know, that knows the X's and O's in the pros. They're gonna have to do something like that. So if they bring in Dan Hurley and then he bring his own staff in from college, that's a bad idea. If they bring in Dan Hurley and then say, hey, look, we want Rondo on your staff for him to be a defensive coordinator or something like that, then I think that'd be dope. But your thoughts though, Dominique, and your mic is muted.
I think that Dan Hurley is a much better option than JJ Redick. I agree with Britne when she said that that was a joke. I really believe that it was just to keep LeBron and like clutch in the news cycle, that, you know, he has enough power to dictate who the coach would be. And would he do that? There was just so much discussion around, you know, LeBron and JJ Redick having the podcast, and now he would be coaching the team. So I think it was a big joke. Keyshawn Johnson even said weeks ago on Undisputed that it's never going to happen. They're absolutely not considering JJ. And he said it in a way that it was glossed over, you know, because we needed to continue to talk about that. And I just think that LeBron was bounced out of the playoffs, and this was something that we, you know, the media that needed to keep discussing him just to have something to talk about. But I think that Dan Hurley could be really good for the Lakers because you need somebody to motivate the young players on that team. And I think that that's what he'll be able to do while LeBron and Anthony Davis continue to coach themselves. But who is going to impact those young players? LeBron's voice is not being heard in the locker room, and that's obvious.
You don't think LeBron's voice being heard?
No, I don't. I think that they're not. I don't think when they say every game we're blaming somebody, right? So when you take a look at the playoffs, oh, Austin Reeves didn't deliver, so-and-so didn't deliver. The others are not delivering for LeBron and AD because why would you, like, I'm a manager. If I'm going to ask somebody on my team to do something, I have to be willing to do it. So when he's, yelling at Taurean Prince, about his defense, or when he turns the ball over, it's ridiculous. You're not even running back yourself. So why am I following you? They have to accept that he is the number one option on the team, but I don't think and believe that they actually truly accept him as the leader of the team. There's a difference between being a captain and a leader and just being that person that's in position, like what Caitlin Clark is right now. They are the top dog on the team, but they're not actually respected as the leader, somebody that I should follow, because they're not doing everything. He's lazy on defense. And the team, they have to deal with that. And they need somebody that's going to be able to motivate them past those moments of deflation and demoralization. We're like, hey, you're going to have to be the person that works a little harder in this area because they're not going to do it. This is what I need from you. Hey, I need this from you. I need to ask more of you. And they're going to do it for Dan Hurley, because he's going to motivate them in a particular way that gets them to move faster, that gets them to run back on defense, that gets them to really, step up in those tough times where LeBron and AD just might not do that dirty work.
If you're not hearing LeBron's voice in the locker room, he's shipping your ass out to Washington. Understand that.
I was about to say, I'm going to slightly disagree. I think you don't play 21 years and, most of your teammates grew up watching you play. You don't have that kind of, aura on that team and is not the de facto leader in that locker room. I think it's more of a 1A, 1B now situation than more of a 1 and a 2 between LeBron and AD, because LeBron is somewhat trying to groom AD to be the number one option, trying to eventually pass the torch to AD to be the number one option. So I think AD's words are they carry a little bit more weight than what they would have a few years ago. But LeBron is very much so still that de facto leader of that locker room.
So then why are players not showing up to huddles? That's disrespect. That's not LeBron is not driving a culture.
Because you already know the play. Hand the ball to the man with the ball spot or the man with the extra eyebrow. You know the play.
There's guys sitting at the end of the bench pouting. They're doing like
joining the huddle.
Guys,
not joining. Also, need to be in the huddle to get the ball to Brown or AD.
Now, I said leader. I never said good leader, right? Still, you could be a leader, and the people following you pick up your characteristics. Everything you just named is things that LeBron does. What's to say the people follow him don't pick up the traits and do the same thing?
But he's not delivering that message though. So they're following the bad behaviors, right? They're following the pouting, the walking off to the side or whatever the case may be, but they're not actually hearing what he's telling them to do, because he's asking them to do things that he's unwilling to do. Yeah. Hey, I turned the ball over. It's your fault. You know, you need to rebound for me. Why didn't you box out on that rebound? That's what we see him saying to his teammates. But he's unwilling to do those things, and we see it play after play. So when you're unwilling to lead by example, they're not going. Those are the things that need to happen, right? So like regardless of what he's saying, the actions and the words don't match. And so that's why there's so much disconnect on the Lakers team, because those players, these younger guys, they have to watch their big homies essentially have these bad behaviors, and they have to have the opposite behaviors because they're not the big homie. That's all I'm saying.
In year 21, does he still have to be the 5-stat guy? Like, do we still need him to lead every category, or is part of being a leader is delegating these things that you're supposed to be doing at your position anyway, right? Rui Hachimura, you're telling him to go get rebounds.
Lead in every category, though. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying simply when you turn the ball over, how could you not run back? That's what I'm saying. So when those
because I got 4 other people. I mean, you're 21. What are y'all young ass go back and over that?
To a team, and we can keep saying you're 21, but again, if you can't play both sides of the floor, if you can't get on the court and do your job, then you shouldn't be playing. So we can talk all day about you're 21, but if you cannot play offense and defense, box out on rebound. And I mean, maybe he's not doing at the highest level. Maybe I'm not asking him to, be defensive player of the year. But if you are not doing those things, exactly, it's the effort. So when you're not giving that effort and the other players can see that, there is demoralization there. Trust me.
I have to read this. And this is not from Clutch Sports, but it says, LeBron is no longer a two-way player by choice. So he's not going to get back on defense. I don't know where that came from. He came to my phone and told me I need to say that. Yeah.
I mean, I can see what Dominique's talking about, though, because even if you listen to, even besides the play on the court after the game, when you hear LeBron speak about his teammates, after a loss, it's so like it. I could hear the disconnect. It's a blame game versus if this is your team, if you're the leader of this team, what can I do? I'm the leader. What can I do to ensure that my team is, can come together as a whole, can play better on the court? What can I improve? And maybe that can spread down to the younger guys. So
he can't do nothing after the trade deadline. Y'all act like y'all don't know y'all act like y'all don't know what's going on, man.
What's going on, Jay? What's going on?
After the trade deadline,
we go. Go ahead. I'm
after the trade deadline, I'm stuck with your ass to the playoffs.
Yeah, until the end of the season. you that guy.
Yeah, we'll see if you make training camp.
Yeah, next year it's coming around. You make his list and check it twice every
right.
Well, for that year, give maximum effort.
That's funny, real, man. Hey, somebody in the comment section, he's a VIP. Greg Anderson. He said, "Man, please, just one phone call." But it's up to Chris J and Zoe. If y'all don't want it, then we go move. But
I seen that comment. I was kind of interested, so yeah, we'll let it slide.
Hey, Greg Anderson, only you, and you got 45 seconds. Call in, and we moving.
It's one of my favorite storytellers.
Yeah. We love Greg over here. Going once, Greg. Going twice.
Hurry up, Greg.
You're gonna be mad.
Greg said you didn't put the number up there. You don't know what number to call.
Man, he got the number saved.
He had to exit out of the his other window. What's up, Greg?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Hey, fellas and ladies. The show just look a whole lot better today.
Dang! All this effort I've been putting in for a whole year.
We appreciate it.
Get him off the phone.
Hell no.
I'm just saying.
Hell no, man. That's messed up.
Hey, look.
No, I'm something decent.
Look, I got just 2 quick points, and I'm off the line. The first point, let me go back to Caitlin Clark right quick. Look, if your sister was getting bullied now, what if she had accepted that deal with the big three? What do you think they would have been doing to her?
You ever seen a pit bull fight a chihuahua?
Yeah, that's what it was. We can't. I'm not following that narrative that she's getting bullied. She's a rookie, and that's just rookie treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, second point, I am so pissed off that they are trying to get Dan Hurley because I wanted JJ Redick. Man, it was
know where he going. Hello, Greg.
This would have been much better content. Like the first time, the first time they watch a film session, LeBron don't get back on defense, and JJ Redick acting like he don't see it. Oh my goodness! It's the stuff that you don't see that would have made that interesting. All right, I'm going, y'all. That's all I want to make.
All right, man. Thanks, Greg. Appreciate it.
G. Appreciate it, G.
All right, we're not gonna get to the last LeBron topic. We're gonna get to the NBA Finals. We're gonna talk about that, and then we out of here. No phone calls on this one. But it is something interesting that Udonis Haslem had to say, man. And this is not new. You know, people have been saying this, man. I know Chris and Zoe don't like it, but I gotta play this for y'all, man, and I gotta get y'all thoughts on it. After watching Game 1, it has started again. Udonis Haslem talking about Jaylen Brown actually being the alpha on the Celtics is what he said.
Well, I'm gonna say this, Perk. I'm gonna agree with you 1,000%. When the man walked in with the all black on, dressed like Blade, I knew he meant business. But he's an alpha. He's the alpha to me. To me, there's levels to alphas, and he's the alpha in that locker room. Yes, Jason Tatum is an alpha, but to me, there's levels to alpha, and I think he's the alpha in that locker room. As soon as the game was over and they won, he was the guy that said, "Hey, don't get cute. It's only one game." So he's already set the tone. But for Dallas, I think it is just one game, but I would be concerned because they only had 3 guys in double figures, and Luka was one with 30. So you talk about Kyrie Irving and how unstoppable those guys have been. Boston definitely figured something out with switching those pick and rolls. Everybody is staying at home and making him try to make shots oversized when it was Al Horford. And then on the other end of it, they were attacking Luka on defense. So Dallas has some things they need to figure out, but it was only Game 1. It doesn't matter if you lose by 100 or you lose by 1. I expected Boston to come out and win Game 1. I expected Dallas to be a little timid because that's their first time being there. I expect them to be better. Boston struggled Game 2. I expect the Dallas Mavericks to show up in Game 2 and not just Dallas. That look like the Dallas Cowboys. My bad, Stephen A.
Jay, before we get into the actual game, speak to what Udonis Haslem said about Brown and Tatum and that dynamic and who's the alpha in the locker room and all of that stuff, man. I'm kind of tired of hearing that, man, but let speak to it for me.
No, I think Udonis Haslem was uniquely qualified to say that. He didn't say he was the best player. He didn't say he was the leader. He didn't say anything. He said he was the alpha. That's the personality that you want your team to have. And Udonis Haslem was never the best player in Miami, but he was the alpha. He was the guy that you wanted the young guys to look up to because he was going to do things the Heat way. You know what I'm saying?
So he's not saying he's the number one. He's saying he's the Draymond.
He didn't say that at all. Yeah,
okay.
He didn't say that at all. He said he's the man's man on there and needs a new hair braider. He said all that in one statement.
He did say that, didn't he? Chris,
I am so tired of that man's braids. I'm gonna have to disagree because I feel like when you label somebody an alpha, people follow alphas. Alphas are leaders, right? And I'm not buying that Jaylen Brown is the leader of this team. You can't sell me that narrative that Jaylen Brown, just because he has a couple of good games here and there, or that's expected when teams are game planning for your number one. You're supposed to be able to go off and eat. Just because he showed up to the arena in all black.
That's something different. Something different.
I'm not buying that alpha.
No, that man has, first of all, that man has genius level IQ. That man's different. And he has the he has the ego to wear those braids in public on national television. Yo, son, not right, yo. Something different with him. That man, the leader of that team, he the alpha. He not the best player or none of that. But if you add his play plus his personality, because Jason Tatum, his personality he's not rah-rah in your face, all that. Like he's reserved. He's reserved. You know what I'm saying? Deuce get more hype than JT.
That's right.
Just real talk.
That's a good word. That's a good word.
So you know what I'm saying? You don't want your guys to be as reserved as Jason Tatum, but you don't want Jason Tatum to be something that he's not. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like Kawhi Leonard. Any team that Kawhi Leonard leads, Kawhi Leonard is still going to be himself.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. The reason why I don't like it is because number one, it's the finals, and we are bringing up this again. I'm tired of the topic because I think that we've gone over it a bunch of times on this podcast and with some different opinions. But at the same time, as much as I love Jaylen Brown, I think that they are 1A, 1B, and I think the 1A is Jason Tatum. And he didn't say, like to Jay's point, he didn't say anything different. I think Jason Tatum is the reason a lot of the games that Brown has, and this is no discredit to Brown's game. When we think of the things that a basketball player does, right? We think of scoring, rebounding, defending. We think of those things. Question for the panel. What would you say Jaylen Brown is? He's a scorer and defender. Is that a fair assessment of him?
Yeah.
Scorer, defender. Now, when we take those same qualities, what is Jason Tatum not those things?
He is.
Is he not also a great rebounder?
Yeah, he's actually kind of playing power forward for them this year, and he's averaging 8 to 9 rebounds a game like a power forward.
And he's not only playing power forward, he's playing point forward because he's averaging almost 6 assists.
I was about to say he's also got he's got the vision too.
He can see the floor. I'm telling you, when you got a player like that, I've played with some dudes that was just otherworldly good, and it made my game easy. It made everything easy around me. So while I get why Jaylen Brown, he's the uber athlete. The dude, you seen the dunk he had in game one, crazy. He's stupid, and he's from Pebblebrook. Shout out to them boys in Pebblebrook down in Georgia. So I got a lot of love for JB. But if we talking about basketball on the court, the guy that I would start my franchise with, if I had to pick between those two, would be JT.
Yeah, but is JT the alpha though?
I would say so.
I would say so too. I think and I hate to sound. I love Jaylen Brown, bro. Like when you playing with somebody that good and you decent, your game is going to flourish because they're going to garner a lot of the attention. It's the equivalent to why Eric Snow had good playoff games. No, my bad, Britne. You know if that about the Philly. Like,
so is this just a case of Tatum doing what Tim Duncan did for the Spurs and scaling his game back, saying, "Look, I can go get 30 and 10 if I want to and average that, but I'm gonna scale my game back because I got help. I don't have to do all of that."
Listen, man.
And nobody
is he doing what Tim Duncan did?
Nobody will undispute that Tim Duncan.
Actually, David Robinson did it first for Tim Duncan.
Yeah, he did. David Robinson did it for Tim Duncan, and Tim Duncan turned around and did it as well. I think that we just gotta. If you watching the basketball game, you can see that this guy, the 6'8" light skin, that dude, he can do everything. He can do everything. If I knew nothing about basketball and I watched him and I saw what he did on the floor, I'm like, he's doing a little bit of everything. While Jaylen Brown is doing a lot of different things too, I would say this guy's more skilled. If you talk about the alphas, that's more so personality than it is skill. So at the end of the day, it's personality. And so I get why Udonis, and who was a lot of personality for a long time on that bench down there in Miami. Shout out UD. But you know what I'm saying? When you have a guy like that saying things like that, you can respect it, as Jay said. But at the end of the day, Jason Tatum is a quiet dude. He lets his game do a lot of the talking, and he talks to a 60-win team that's in the finals right now as the best player. So I'm gonna leave it at that. You can figure out whoever you feel is the alpha. Let him, at the end of the day, the best player on that team is Jason Tatum.
Let's get the ladies in here real quick.
Yes, sir.
Somebody go.
Okay. I think that alpha and best player on the team are not the same. So to Zoe's point, to Jay's point, I do think that Jaylen Brown is the alpha. And I think that also we can decide that we can't really decide on that right now. I would love to see the Boston Celtics continue their like domination of the league. So, let's say they wind up in the finals, 3 years in a row. That would be great to see. And I think that answer could change because we see Jason Tatum speaking up for himself. I don't think he's quiet at all. I don't think he lets his game speak for itself. He was begging the media to make him the MVP this past season. He was crying and complaining that he wasn't made MVP in prior years. And he also cries a lot during games. So he's very vocal with refs and very vocal with his team. So I think that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are both leaders of the team, but we've also seen in so many different cases, the Warriors. Steph was not the alpha of the team, but he's the best player. Kevin Durant was not the alpha of the Warriors or OKC or Brooklyn. He's not an alpha. He's literally like a beta, right? So
don't do my boy.
All right.
Don't do my boy like that.
I'll let you cook. As you can see,
was the best. I'm not disrespecting.
There would be no KD slander
in the league for me. Like, to me, Kevin Durant was the best player in the league for quite a few years, but he's not an alpha kind of male. He's not vocal. If he could be quiet, he would. If he could just let someone else tell everybody what to do, he would. He wants the coaches to do their job. He wants the organization to do their job. So
yeah, I was good when you said that, but as soon as you said beta, I was like, oh, come on, man.
So quick question.
A beta is just someone who's less aggressive. It's
yeah,
not
but but when you say it out loud, though, when you say it out loud,
he's a dude. It
feels
good.
It's literally just opposite of alpha. Beta is not meant to be an offensive word here. I'm not trying to offend you guys or Kevin Durant or anybody, but we see. I would characterize Steph as a beta. I would characterize.
Yeah, but betas be getting paid though. I mean,
oh God, listen. Okay,
a beta doesn't mean they don't get paid, and I do think that they're still leaders of their team. I don't think that their voice is not going to be heard. It's just going to be heard differently.
No,
that's all. Draymond Green, his voice has to drown everybody else out, right? But everybody says it. Steph is not that guy on the team to tell everybody what to do.
Yo, Mel.
Dominique, let me ask you a question. I'm trying to keep this train rolling before we get derailed badly. Okay. Yo, let me ask you a question, Dominique. Does alpha automatically mean loud, barbaric, aggressive, or can an alpha be?
No, alpha is the person that asserts their will. So it could be quietly, it could be vocally. You have to be able to assert your will. So you could.
Oh, how does Kevin Durant not fit that mold? How does Kevin Durant not?
Hey, Chris, hey, listen. I apologize. We can't say anything bad about Kevin Durant, or Chris is going to have a fit.
Hold on, because I'm trying to understand.
I'm okay. Like, I'm looking right at you, Chris. I'm going to talk to you about Kevin Durant. He's not an alpha, in my opinion, and because there's been times he's played very well. He's played extremely well, but nobody on the team else on the team does. He got swept this year and 2 seasons ago.
So he's never ever in his 15, 16 seasons asserted his will ever.
Individually, but it doesn't spread to the rest of the team, and we've seen that when he was swept in Brooklyn.
It's because them niggas suck. They suck. I'm sorry.
They didn't suck. They didn't suck enough. Every single game in that series was very close. You mean to tell me they couldn't win one game to not be swept? And that shouldn't be the goal. But I'm saying that they didn't win one game, and they didn't win one game this season either when they had the players. You have Bradley Beal, you have Devin Booker, you have,
Name the rest. Name the rest.
They have a team. They have a team where they shouldn't have been swept.
I agree they shouldn't have been swept.
And that's part of not being able to assert your will. That's part of
so then LeBron James is not an alpha.
No, man. Them getting swept, I don't think is related to him not being alpha.
LeBron James is not an alpha then because he got swept.
Everything y'all said is cool.
He got gentlemen swept, but
no, he's been swept.
Mel, get away with
it. And he got swept by Kevin Durant.
Look, if I keep talking about LeBron, they're gonna tear me up in the comments. I've already been called a hater. Okay, so we can talk about LeBron.
Somebody spelling your name wrong too. Somebody said you're on point, but they spelled your name wrong.
Is on point.
Well, maybe that is how you spell it.
And I'm
okay
how you spell it? Call me crazy, at least you call me. But my whole thing is, LeBron James. We can talk about him right now because I don't think he's a great leader, and I think there were plenty of times where he didn't assert his will. I think there were plenty. It's inconsistent. There were times that he did, and there were times that he didn't. But out of Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, let's be for real. Jaylen Brown's game is extremely explosive. He explodes. He's aggressive on the floor. Jason Tatum delivers in so many different ways as well, and I think they're both leaders on the team. But I do think that
Explodes
Jaylen
and
Brown
delivers is
more
crazy right now.
Yeah,
So,
that's nasty work.
real
That's
quick,
nasty
Dominique,
work.
real quick, just name me 5 people currently in the league that you think are alpha males or alpha players.
Melvin the alpha, and
No,
we
no,
all
in
made
the
him.
league.
He got us up here after 2 hours.
In
after
the-
we said we wouldn't.
Shush.
We done after they finish with this. We done. We're gonna be done in 2:30. 2:30.
Dominique, can you name me five players in the league currently that you think are alphas?
I can. I would go with Russell Westbrook. I would go with and these people that aren't even performing on their team, but I do see them as alphas. Pat Bev for sure. The way that he tries to motivate his team and the way that he tries to really dig in, and there are plenty of alphas, but that doesn't mean that they're a good player. So
Is Draymond Green on your list?
He is, unfortunately. I don't think that he's leading. I don't think that he's leading in the right way, but he definitely, tries to be that person. He would be considered that on his team. Is it working now? No, it's not working anymore. We're seeing the collapse of that team. And part of that is, in my opinion, his fault. Their locker room is divided, but he is an alpha. And that's part of the problem. Being an alpha is not necessarily a good thing. You have to be what your team needs. So there are times when, the beta wins. The beta is the person that can bring everybody together and create, neutrality in the locker room that the team needs. So being an alpha doesn't necessarily make you the best player. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's what your team needs or it's good for your team. But there are some men that are alphas, and it's either to the betterment or the detriment of their team.
What about
Thanasis is definitely an alpha. Thanasis he's definitely an alpha for
on
sure.
the bench. He's an alpha for the bench. Are you kidding me?
Thanasis is a Zeta.
Look, we got 5 minutes. I want to play for y'all what Paul Pierce said, and I want Brittany, Jay, and Chris to close us out with their thoughts. But Paul Pierce is like, hey man, this is a lopsided finals. It's not even going to be close. This is his opinion. I want to get y'all thoughts on it after he says this, starting with Brittany, then Chris, then Jay. You close us out. And then also plug Therapeutic Rap and plug Sideline Speaks as we close out, and then we get out of here. But this is Paul Pierce.
Until my turn, because I'm about to unleash on you.
Ain't no unleashing today. Ain't no unleashing today.
Is that a red Auerbach?
This is a red Auerbach cigar. Ain't no unleashing today. I don't want to hear nothing. Listen, man, I told y'all, this is one of the most lopsided finals we're going to see with Porzingis as the X factor. Now, did I expect him to come out like this, 8 for 13, 20 points? No, I didn't. But for the simple fact that he did, played 20 minutes, and look it, Luka had 30, 10. But you know what we did? We took away that pick and roll. We took away that lob threat. We took away them passes. We took away them corner threes. We said, all right, we're going to allow you to get 30. But you know what? You're not going to dissect our defense. There's no situation you can tell me, Skip, now. And I don't know what adjustments that Dallas can make. What adjustments can you make when your superstar player goes 6 for 16, and I'm talking about Jason Tatum in 2 minutes? What adjustments? And then Jaylen Brown, he was 7 for 12 for 22 points, but I didn't think he played that well. I think he played okay. Based on the standards of what he's been playing all playoffs, he shot 6 for, he missed 5 free throws, Skip. Couple turnovers. I just don't know where Dallas goes from here. Yeah, you can say Kyrie didn't shoot the ball well, he opened threes. Let's just say Kyrie went 3 for 5 from 3. That'll give him 9 points, which would take 9 points off the lead, which still would have us winning by covering the spread. 9 points. So in saying that, I don't believe Jason Tatum can play any worse. This was his worst game of the playoffs. This is his worst game of the playoffs. 6 for 16, 6 turnovers, and they win by 18? Where do y'all go from here?
Skip, go. Tell me when it's my turn.
Just tell me. Where do you go from here? Luka 30, 10, Tatum 16. Look, we'd be killing Tatum today if they had lost.
Brittany, tell me what you think about that, and also tell me, do you agree that it's a lopsided, or you think it's just game one jitters?
I don't know if it's just game one jitters, guys. I have no idea. But look, when I looked at the Celtics, my biggest thing with the Celtics over the course of the season, I always felt like they had the best team, right? From 1 through 5, by far they had one of the best teams. Even the players coming off the bench, they are very skilled on both sides of the court. They play both sides of the ball very well. But my only issue with them is consistency. Sometimes they're the most inconsistent team. And that is my concern going into this series. If they play like they did in game one, I absolutely agree with Paul Pierce. I don't think Dallas will have a chance. I think it's just a big size mismatch. Because who's Daniel Gafford can't guard Porzingis. And
Not at
Porzingis,
all.
I didn't realize how good his defense was. I forgot because he's always hurt. So I'll be honest, I forgot. And then he could stretch it out on you and shoot the three. Al
That's
Horford,
crazy.
although I could tell he's slowing down a little bit. He's slowing down, but he gives maximum effort even at this age. Drew Holiday to me is one of the best, if not the best, two-way guard in the league at this moment. Derek White, my goodness. I didn't see this coming so many years ago. To me, he's one of the most important players on this team because he's the one that makes, when they're kind of in trouble a little bit, he bails them out a lot between
He
him
does so many
and Drew
things, don't he?
Holiday.
Swiss
Yes,
Army knife. Derek White is a
He's a
Swiss
Swiss
Army
Army
knife.
knife. Yep.
absolutely. So even when Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are struggling, they got other guys on that team to pick them up, to carry the load until they could get themselves together. I like Kyrie. I like Kyrie.
Hey, you
I
got
like Luka. I don't know if they have. I don't think they have enough to overcome what the Celtics is offering if they're playing like they are in game one. So if they're consistent, if they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, they're playing up to their abilities. I agree with Paul Pierce. I don't think the Mavs have a chance, but I do think there's going to be one game, maybe two, where the Celtics slip up. So I'm giving the
Of course.
Celtics. I'm giving the Celtics at least a gentleman's sweep. I think the Mavs will win one game.
You know what I like about the Celtics? Their two best players are not the one is running the offense and having the ball all the time.
Nope.
Like you got Derek White and Drew Holiday that runs that offense simultaneously, or not simultaneously, but interchangeably. And Tatum and Brown plays off the ball, but every now and then, if they need to, they can get the ball and do their thing. And
Right.
Holiday and White can both be spot up. With Dallas, they just got one where they can play. It's either gonna be Luka or Kyrie handling the ball and running everything and assisting everybody. No one else can take that responsibility on their shoulders and let them go off the ball and freelance a little bit, man. So I mean, good basketball is always gonna trump this type of your turn, my turn basketball, but that's what I see from it, man. But go ahead, Chris.
I was saying one time is luck, two times is a streak, right? So we got to see it again. But if game one is any indication, and they weren't even firing on all cylinders. This was them mid gear, right? If KP can, bring back that level of production, and Jason Tatum is Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown is Jaylen Brown, who is stopping this team, right? And I think what tilted the scales, it might have been a little bit more even
if KP
had KP not came back. It would have been a little bit more. Game one probably wouldn't have been a blowout. You know what I'm saying? And I think Boston still probably would have won, but it would have been closer. But KP is just that wrench in the engine. You just how do you
can't account for him? He a unicorn.
Counter that
when he's healthy, he's unique in skill set. The matchup, yeah.
And I feel like this is probably the best setup he's ever been in his career because he doesn't have to be the number one, which means he doesn't have to have the stresses or the pressure, and he can just go out there and play his game, which means he doesn't have to expend all that energy being a number one option, which is why he can. Did you see the chase down block? Oh my gosh. Like,
yeah, it was crazy.
Coming back off a calf strain, and people thinking like, oh, calf strains are serious, which they are, right? And for somebody of his, height, that's a heavy injury. And he got down there. He was very spry, very quick. And his lateral movement, which a lot of people have said that he doesn't really possess.
Yeah.
He showed a lot of lateral movement in game one.
He did.
he was moving around very well. He was getting whatever buckets he wanted. He's swinging his elbows. You know, everybody trying to flop. You're not nobody. His elbows ain't touching you. He's swinging them over you. He can get whatever shot he wants.
Man, it's 12 feet tall.
So I think KP is that X factor that kind of just really tilts this heavily towards, and unless, like we all said, unless the refs get involved heavily, there's nothing Boston got over there for this team. I mean, Dallas got over there for this team.
They're gonna have to get involved to stretch.
Trust me, they're watching film right now.
Narratives. Go ahead, Jay.
I don't like Paul Pierce.
Like ever, or just like post retirement?
Never.
Okay.
I've never liked Paul Pierce except for when he got stabbed. I like the way.
Come on, Jay.
Oh, hold on. No. I didn't like the fact that he got stabbed. I like how he persevered and came back after his stab.
I'm glad you
clean that one up.
No. I didn't want the man to get hurt. You know what I'm saying? But that was the only time I could actually say, hey, I was pulling for him to, be somebody.
Jay.
With all that being said, man, he's 100% correct.
Yeah.
100% correct. Listen, it's over.
Wow.
It's over. If we're talking about just basketball, and that's all I'm speaking of right now. We talked about immediately following game one. We came in here, much to my chagrin, and
want to go.
We talked about it, and I was like, yo, Dallas should go small, and that's not going to work. They don't have an answer in the building.
Nah.
Yo, if Kyrie and Luka each goes for 40, that's 80.
The team would only have 80.
Like,
quick math.
No, like it's not. Who are they going to stop? What can Dallas do defensively?
I don't know.
To stop Boston as a team. The answer to that is, it was a trick question. The answer is nothing. The answer is nothing. So it's over.
Jay.
Like
Vince Carter meme, it's over.
You know it's gonna turn, Jay. It has to. I mean, that's how you built the drama, and then here comes the
you remember when the Spurs was in the finals with the Nets, and we was waiting on something to happen. You know what happened? It was over.
It was over. Yeah. Sometimes that happen, but
that's
not this time. Bro. Not this time. They got to spend it. I mean, there was no superstar that the league was trying to market on the Knicks. It was Allen Houston and Sprewell and Marcus Camby. Luka, the story that they're gonna write for him and his legacy, I don't know if he can have a sweep. Well, LeBron. Never, you know what? Never mind. LeBron got a sweep.
Listen, I'm gonna do it. I tried not to. I tried not to. But F it. This will not go 6 games. You can book it.
Oh,
I tried not to, so I tried not to.
This man 0 for 7. This man 0 for 79 on booking picks, man.
Just because you said it, this is a 7-game series now.
Yeah, exactly. And this knife right here from Maurice Davis is crazy, man. Why you talking about Paul Pierce getting stabbed? Just put a knife there. It's too much, man. Y'all was crazy in the chat, man. But look, man, I think that's it, man. We passed 2:30.
Real quick, guys, listen. I can talk about sports all day, but I also talk about other things. And if you're into other things,
sound like a 3 a.m. infomercial.
I know. If you
like that though, I had a good transition, man. But Britne started laughing and threw me off. If you're into other things,
it's crazy.
Come on over to Therapeutic Rap. Subscribe, and share. You'll hear a lot of the same type of energy, talking about other topics than sports. There's relationships, current events, and other things. The only thing that's off limits is y'all not watching, man. Come on over there, like, subscribe, share. Therapeutic Rap. And now I'm gonna pass it back to the lovely Britne to tell you about Sideline Speaks.
Sideline Speaks. We do not talk about other things. We keep it on the sports topic. But we talk all sports for the most part. I know Olympics is coming up, so we will absolutely be getting into that as well. But live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. I'm on Northeast. So yes, Mel, this show was late for me. It's almost my bedtime. No, I'm just kidding. 7 p.m.
Y'all
Eastern.
killing me. Y'all killing me, man.
But yes, please, same thing. Please, subscribe, like, and share. I appreciate it.
Sideline
I didn't
Speaks,
tell y'all.
Sideline
Therapeutic
Speaks.
Rap live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time for the people on the West Coast. I want you to be off of work when you digest it.
Yeah, that's dope. Britne got Tuesday.
Jay got Wednesday.
We got Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Chris and
It's coming
Joe,
soon.
Monday and Thursday, wide open for y'all.
He gonna drop.
If y'all ever want to
He gonna
shake
drop.
something.
Y'all didn't even know. Not Clutch Sports has just told me too that be on the lookout. Thursday's coming this fall. Dominique gonna have something that y'all lads ain't ready for. Thursday coming this fall. I can't tell you what it is.
Dominique, how was your first time on the panel, man? Did you enjoy it?
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. And I'm just, like I said, for me, it's just really a pleasure to be here with you guys. And I'm so grateful that you're allowing me to share with you and to be here. So thank you.
Hell yeah. We appreciate you for coming along, man.
Girl power. I love it.
All right, man. Well, we out of here, man. We'll catch y'all on Tuesday with the Sideline Speaks.
Shout out to Mikey
Wednesday
Brass.
at Therapeutic Rap, man. I also got a little solo thing I do, but I don't know what day I do it no more. It's just,
it's too much content. We putting out too much content.
Hey, listen, if you hit that notification bell, you don't even got to care what day it is. You're gonna see.
And don't forget, before we got here, mark your calendars because June 14th, Game 4.
We're gonna do
live coverage.
Live coverage.
NBA Finals. Man Down got you covered, man. June 14th. Mark your calendars.
Hold on, my bad. I rock with Penguins. Not Clutch Sports told me that Penguins are the official animals.
Saying not Clutch Sports.
Yeah, it's not Clutch. I just want y'all to know it's not.
Jay, check your email. They call.
Exactly.
Who is it? If it's not Clutch, who is it?
Not Clutch. That's the name of Not Clutch.
It's held real tight. It's not Clutch.
Held real tight.
Real tight.
Hell real tight.
All right, man. We out of here, man. We'll catch y'all next week, man. Thank y'all for joining, man. Thanks for the super chats and the call-ins and all the comments, man. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're coming in late, just go ahead and go back and watch it from the beginning, man. I appreciate everybody, man. Thank you.